from where we sit is gorgeous, even if we don't fit inside your little portrait. The big picture is enormous, so we don't even have to fit. We after it, true purpose, yeah, we have to get. We mastered it, reporting it live from Black Pew, discussing politics, the culture, and laughing at you. Cause you don't understand the viewpoint, don't mean you up by a few points. You just ain't hip to these new joints we on. The world says to follow they pitch, we set the tone, then we knock it over the fence. Oh yes, it's gone. Them haters screaming loud from the bench. They get the bat and try to copy technique, but they miss the point that I mentioned earlier. I see that you observing the way I strangle this beat. Oh yeah, I'm a murderer. Enough of me, let's get back to this gorgeous view. I hope that you enjoyed the show. Welcome to the Black Pew.
Lost $13 in Jersey
because of toast.
I'm like, yo, what happened? What happened?
You said, yo, man.
You drive the whole Jersey Turnpike, you lose 50.
You lose exactly. And I was like, I was just trying to get to my uncle's house.
I take the back roads. I go through the city.
Listen, I learned that. I'm going through Perth Amboy and all that.
Yeah. Perth Amboy.
It was like because I'm not trying to lose. Gas was like $2 back then.
Right.
So, now
that was a lie.
Exactly. That's true.
That was a lie.
Man, I can't believe it. It used to be $150 last summer.
Yeah.
I literally remember that. Yo.
Joined down the street, 409. I was like, oh snap.
Listen, I told somebody, I was like, can you imagine telling your girl like we're in a long distance relationship because of gas prices?
That's hilarious.
She lives the city over.
Yo, exactly. That's
she lives the city over.
Yo, baby girl,
I can't come visit you. I need
do
this
that.
gas for
Listen,
work.
That's $200 a month. I can't do it.
That's a reality, though. That was a reality.
I come see you. I can't go to work Monday.
That's what I'm saying. You got to work from home for me? Okay, that's what I thought. Exactly.
Wow.
I need a vacation day just so I can recoup the money.
Working from home.
Saying,
Black Pew Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. We got full couches today. I'm gonna start saying that, full couches.
I'm for it.
Everybody's here. Everybody's here.
Can we just
It's a vibe right now.
I have to pay.
Shout out to our guest, Willie Will.
Mic check. What up, yo?
And Cameron.
Is Cameron really a guest?
Cameron,
Let's talk about
I think Cameron's not a guest anymore.
I know, right?
Cameron's
our regular.
Cameron's our Steve Urkel.
Is that you?
You know what I'm saying? Like he just come.
I just come to pull in.
Come and it's
family.
We don't get rid of him. You feel me?
I'm not sure if I'm quite a fixture. I think I'm a removable fixture.
No, Steve Urkel was a fixture. It actually didn't make sense if he wasn't there.
Right.
Bless you.
Well,
I was like, I had to think about that.
It became that because he took over. He was supposed to
Because
be
he
an
wasn't
extra.
supposed to be a regular.
Yeah.
And then he ended up becoming a
Y'all
regular.
about to make me. I think some onions is in here. God bless.
it was supposed to be.
Yeah, give him your flowers when they're
I
here.
appreciate
And
that.
then Little Mama went up the stairs and we never saw her again. Yeah. What was her name even? Do we remember her name?
The little sister.
Rudy?
No.
He said Rudy. Man,
No, come on. I was thinking that though.
He
I was
said
like,
Rudy.
She's a little dark. She's a little dark girl like Rudy.
it was part of the formula back then. You
Yeah,
just
that's
put a
real.
dark-
Every black show had a
the
little
young-
girl.
Trudy.
No.
Judy.
That's right.
Don't front on mom. Don't front on mom.
I was there.
Don't front on
I
mom.
led us to
I
the
knew
wall.
it was a
I led us to the wall.
I knew it was a
Yeah, it was. That's right.
Oh my God! It was always a Judy or
Marv was on. He was on the high line.
He was on track.
He was on track. So
I was gonna let y'all front on him.
Yeah.
okay, it's a lot of us in here. So we here for the shit.
We with the shit today.
I'm gonna have to cuss it. We here for the shit. So we're gonna talk about it. So
all the smoke.
At least everybody give. It's gonna be a lot of crosstalk, but just to give everybody a chance to say what they got to say and whatnot.
No, I don't.
Shut up, He said she has to say what?
That was definitely my experience with this dude.
We got tape on that.
Backstory. Backstory. When Will was here, we were talking about, and we won't get into the debate.
No detail.
But we got into a debate, and we were going on. Most of the show is
because I'm right.
It's just all. Most of
I
the
still
show.
hold my position, but
Yeah, because
okay.
his brother. We even had to talk with his brother. We was like,
Yeah.
"What do you think?"
God's greatest gift is choice. I'm sorry, man. It's over.
It's not.
Wait, do we have a phone a friend?
What we said, huh?
We had a phone a friend come in. His brother was here.
His brother came in, yeah.
We gotta have him on
He
because
came,
I started
wasn't it like a
the
couple weeks later.
conversation-
yeah, it was like 2 weeks later. Yeah.
Ever since we started the show,
Yeah.
I started a conversation
Okay.
that God's greatest gift is choice.
And we said choice
And
versus salvation.
Everybody else in the room.
Yeah. No, we would not. We're
But
agreeing.
I try to help them understand.
Yeah.
Everybody say salvation.
Yeah.
But the word says Christ gave his life, right? To give something is a choice.
True.
So then, where did Will's brother come in? So where did Will's brother come in? I was trying to understand.
Oh no, he was a guest. He was another guest.
Oh.
It was just
what they
a.
try to do is they feel like the way you make something right is by building up more people who agree with you, and then that makes you right because more people agree with you.
He feel like what make you right is
I just want to say
you being louder than everybody.
That
else.
is true.
I'm loud, so I'm right.
That is also true. That is also
Okay.
true.
But what
I
he
just
said,
wanna
it's
say-
just very
Also
like
true.
the loudest
No,
noise.
Hold on. I was
Doesn't
not
make
here
it
for
right.
that discussion.
Okay.
Mufasa was the
However,
loudest in the pride.
I
okay?
agree with him.
Okay, but this is a
I disagree, but
Okay, go ahead and leave.
thank you.
You're
Jizzy,
excused.
jizzy, jizzy.
I will listen. I will say
When you think about what he's been saying too, after a while,
No,
I guess you
because
do have to
salvation is
choose
a choice. You have to
peace
choose
out
salvation.
faith. So.
Okay,
you have
but
to
hey,
I will say
Every day.
That's
No.
kind of
I disagree. I still
And
disagree.
you're allowed.
All right, the prodigal's
disagree.
time.
No, but-
Oh my God.
Okay,
Because here's the thing. My choice becomes my death when I'm not choosing right.
'cause, what's
So
that
is
you
that a
for
great gift?
Oh, let's
so
make
it's
this
not.
clear though. Willie is also a pastor, so
okay. So then I
Yeah,
will say
Used to
this.
be.
I will say this. just
He used to be a
specifically
pastor.
for the show. For the show.
Go
You
ahead.
still got your
The ability
credentials. You know what I'm
to choose.
Hey,
saying?
yo.
I don't
For the
disagree.
show.
Not saying that.
Oh, they're getting
your
right
choice-
back into it. Okay. I see
Okay,
you.
Yeah,
sorry.
right.
What are you saying?
Okay, yeah.
I will say, coming from my crazy imagination, I imagine he's like, nah, I'm phoning a friend. And he called his brother.
Oh,
So his brother's
Nah,
like,
it didn't happen
yeah,
like
my
that.
brother's on it. It's all about
Nah,
this.
it didn't even
In my brain. So that's why I thought it happened.
Nah,
I'm
that's
gonna
not
tell
how
you.
it happened.
I'm
That's
gonna
not
tell
how
you
it
like
happened.
this.
They
If
were
we had
guess-
the conversation one more time, that would have happened.
That would've happened.
If we had it one more time,
He was a guest
that
on
would've
another.
happened.
Okay, so that makes
you know,
sense. Okay.
another
We would've,
recording.
We would have had, you know how they delete one,
Yeah.
like they take half the answers off the
Yeah,
board.
Right.
We would have took that other answer off the board. It would have just been salvation.
It has just been
And
salvation.
we would have
Yeah.
won. We would have won.
Because
that's what they
here's
do.
the thing.
Yeah, no,
It
that's
would
That's
be
what they do.
look.
They just
At-
throwing
at-
my whole argument.
When I
out the
choose
water.
wrong,
Like,
when I choose wrong,
Yeah.
if someone came and overrode my choice with something better, now my choice is no longer the greatest gift.
null
Now
and void.
the thing that saved me from my choice is a better thing.
I'll put it to you like this. Like a Jack in the Box. I was telling somebody.
Did you just
like a Jack
open
in the
up
Box.
this-
We was talking about this last week.
We weren't
like
gonna talk
like
about
a
it.
Jack
Yes,
in the
you
Box.
did.
If I gave.
I could have swore you said we wasn't going to do this again.
Yeah, that's why I said, did you just open up this?
Because I wasn't here. Because I wasn't here. Okay, sorry. Because I wasn't here, I just want to hear this and we can get to the.
Yeah,
I just wanna hear this
Mark, you
part.
got 30.
Come on.
You're on the clock. You got 30
And we
seconds.
got it on the episode, you
I
know.
want to hear because I wasn't here. I wasn't here. So
Well, okay,
All
well,
right.
can I get 32?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay,
yes. Mark
okay.
30 seconds.
Okay.
I'll just put it to you.
okay,
I'll
okay.
put it to you
I'm
like
just, I'm
this.
just trying to hear what happened. Yeah.
The gift is the
We can
gift,
listen back to
regardless
old
on how
episodes,
you
you know?
use it.
Okay.
And that's what people have to understand.
Yeah.
Your ability to be able to choose what side you're on is the gift. Now, you also are the faulty vessel. So since you decide to do wrong with the gift, that ain't on God. But the ability that he awarded you that choice is the gift. So we'll think about it like this. In Jesus' last moments, he struggled with giving his life. But he knew that the only way that it would be right is if he did it. That choice right there. What if he didn't? What if he chose not to?
Because he could have.
So the greatest gift is choice because the ability to choose is a gift from God. What if God said, no, it's not? No. Guess what? You don't even I'm killing you right now
disagree,
because
bro. I
because
disagree.
you're too on the fence. Even though he was on the fence, God still gave his fleshly body the ability to choose the right way. That's it.
Well, he's like,
No,
I'm
I'm
still
saying-
disagree.
I appreciate
Okay.
both because like I said, I heard your point, and I just wanted to be filled in on what happened last time. I appreciate it, African Bishop, and I do appreciate that too. So that's cool.
This
So
is
that
what
was
happened.
great, yeah.
So quick.
We
Let
gonna get another
me just
30
say,
seconds.
Yeah.
Better
because
say this, Trey.
I got
Yeah,
to split it
thank Trey
in
for that.
15s. I got two different points,
15?
15 seconds apiece.
Okay,
First
okay,
of
okay.
all,
Okay, let's go.
think about free will here. Okay, free will. The thing about choice and free will. How free is it? Because the most important things about you didn't choose. You didn't choose your family. You didn't choose when you would be born, where you would be born, who your family would be, what race you would be, how tall you would be. You didn't choose any of that. It was chosen for you. Those things were chosen for you. So our choice is limited to our options.
Right.
Because how free is my will? I want to fly. I can't. I want to live forever. I can't. I want to be 10 feet tall. I can't. They're not options for me. So I can only choose among my options. That means my will ain't as free as people want to say it is. No, only God can freely choose anything he want. I can't fly like Peter Pan. He can if he choose. But so that takes my free will down here now. You know what I'm saying? So with that, how great is my limited free will? You know what I'm saying? If my options don't include God, which apart from God, they don't. All we can do is choose our chains, choose our sin, choose our addiction. We can't just, be fully in this and say, you know what?
Through
stop.
decision,
I
right,
want-
Mark?
Yeah,
Through
make a
right,
decision.
Mark?
You know what?
Yep.
I'm going to stop all this and go be with God.
just
No.
saying, if you
That's
wanna
not
fly-
how salvation
if you
works.
wanna fly,
Wait,
if you
wait,
wanna
wait,
fly,
wait.
we gotta go.
Yeah,
wait,
I got 3 lines. If you want to fly, choose Delta. If you want to fly, choose Delta. That's it.
Not Alaska.
wait,
they're on.
hold
They're
on.
on. They're on.
Okay.
You wanna fly, choose Southwest.
Boycott.
First topic of the day
Yeah.
I wanted to
is
rebut that, but okay. We're not gonna go there.
first topic
I appreciate both y'all.
of the day, and I'm gonna let
Jesus is right.
Yo,
Jesus is always
All I
right.
know was Christ and him crucified. All I know was Christ and him crucified.
first topic of the day
Facts.
is of course the
Slap her around the world.
the slap heard around the world. The
Yeah.
slap heard in that little hall.
Heard and seen.
If only we had that.
We've seen
sound.
every
Angle.
cut and every angle, but what was your? I'm gonna start off with you, Will. What was your thought on it, on the slap? Like not anything that the past stuff. What was your thought on the moment and what happened while they were there?
We all understand why Will did what he did, but in my opinion, he was wrong because there's a time and place for everything. There's tact, and I feel like he chose to do the right thing in the wrong way.
I agree.
I feel like that was not the time or the space or the moment to address it. Does that mean don't address it? No, you can address it in the green room. You can address it backstage or after the moment.
He
but
could have pulled on a.
he
could have pulled on a
yeah,
bouncer. Had a
it's
bouncer
live
go talk to Chris,
TV.
it could've
The
been
world
anything.
is watching, and what really hurt my heart is these are 2 black men who's doing this in front of the watching world. They already think we animals. They already think that we're ghetto and we're this and that. And now we are doing this moment in front of the watching world. That made us look bad as a people. That was embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that there are white people or there's other race people who don't like black people and say, look, see? That's why I feel how I feel. Look what they do. Look what these animals do. You know what I mean? And guess what? We actually do have more love among us than that. That was a bad moment for the black race.
I only rebuke that because they've been treating us like that before that moment.
But
Before we were
does
acting
that
like
mean,
So I don't- I
well,
don't-
we might
I
as well
don't-
act like it?
I
Nah,
know,
I disagree
I
with
don't-
that.
I don't think that speaks for all black people, but.
But the thing is, that was the moment that represented black people.
No.
No, that moment represented black people. It did. It did.
I agree to a certain. I agree in a certain pocket. I don't. And for a certain people, that people were like, oh, that's what they do, because in our discussion with about the
We're talking about two of the
Imagery
softest.
But-
we're talking about two of the softest people that. If
But
we're
hold
talking
on.
About black culture,
But hold
we
on.
look at as the two softest people in black culture that does not represent.
No,
black
no,
people.
but it doesn't. But at the same time, you made the same argument for Snoop Dogg. You made the same argument for Snoop Dogg.
No.
You said no.
Okay, you're right.
You-
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Wait a
I
minute.
appreciate the honesty. Thank you.
Okay, yes, I did.
Right.
Okay,
but
yes, I did.
but two things can
Alright.
be true. Two things can be true that
Yes.
it can be a negative. It can be a negative toy that's put up and not representative of the person who's holding up the toy.
100%.
Well,
I'll
well,
give you
the
that.
difference is that if you look at the demographic of the gang Crips,
I thought I was gonna say Wu-Tang.
no, no. If you look at the demographic of the gang Crips, it's majority black.
No, that's
No.
That's true. No, I'm saying that's
if
true.
you look at the majority of people who slap the shit out of somebody for talking about their wife and they majority black, that's it. The facts is the facts. So when you got 50-year-old dude dressed up in a flag Crip walking while the rest of the world is watching, that's one thing. But when you got a man that's defending his wife, regardless on what his race, creed, or anything was, that's another thing.
Yeah.
I do not believe that was race specific. The only reason why it's race specific is because y'all looking at their skin color. But at the same time, that is the Oscars. More times than not, we not even there.
If
when
that
we
was
talking
Tom
about-
Cruise,
Yeah,
if that was Tom Cruise,
if that was Tom
Will
Cruise,
Smith
we
would
been
not
saying,
have
"Show
went
me
up
the
and
money."
smacked.
If it was Tom Cruise,
chill out.
we've been saying, "Show me the money." You know.
Nah, if it was anybody except if it was a white man instead of Chris Rock, Will Smith wouldn't have did that. He wouldn't have went and smacked no white man like that. Now, who disagree with that?
But he also doesn't have a
White
background
man
with
probably would have pressed charges.
Tom Cruise like he does.
Yeah. But
A white
it
man
wouldn't
would
have
have
happened
pressed
in the
charges.
first
I
place.
low-
Will
I
would
It
not have
wouldn't have
smacked
happened.
no white man
You
like
know
that.
why? Because he doesn't have a background with Tom Cruise like he does Chris Rock.
I think
But
okay, so
that's
and-
all the
and I'm gonna tell
reason
you
more
something.
not
I'm
to
gonna
do
tell you
that.
one
No,
thing
there's
that-
all
I'm
the
gonna
reason
tell you
more
one
to
thing
do
that
it.
I
He's-
have learned
he's
watching
warned him.
comedy with white comics. They are actually more social aware to not make jokes about black women's hair.
Right.
They know. They know that's the
Yeah.
line that they are not
Hey,
finna cross.
No one is
I gotta
arguing-
say, Chris Rock was wrong. Let me say
Was
that.
that- no, Chris
Right.
Rock was
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah. He was wrong,
Wrong?
but so was Will.
apparently-
So that was just
okay,
a bad.
Okay, but here's the
it
thing.
was bad.
This is the problem that I have. Because whenever a black person does something wrong, oh, it's about the whole race. When you have a white person does something wrong, I don't see white people talking about, oh, you just embarrassed the whole race.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah,
No,
that's true.
no,
When they
wait,
do the
wait,
mass
wait,
shooting
wait.
and
Well,
stuff, I think they have a little secret meeting. Like,
okay.
you tripping, bro.
But here's-
I already know how
Here's
it
the
is.
thing. Here's the thing.
Hey,
Here's
when
the
the
thing.
DC sniper went, I'm pretty sure all white people was nervous. Like, hey,
Listen.
we need to hurry up and catch this
Okay.
motherfucker.
But the fact of the matter is this. I'm tired of people, especially black people. Oh, they put us back 300. We've been back 300 years because we don't have we ain't come up. We haven't pushed forward from the 60s. We still don't have any real true black leaders or anything like that. So that has set us back. But people acting like people and people acting human.
Right.
Yes, it was wrong. Was wrong place. It was the wrong thing to do in front of all them people. But it happened. And my thing is this: it happened for a reason. Why did it happen? Because you were being disrespectful. And he decided, oh, I'm going to do something about it. Out of character for him, but it happened.
Right.
And my issue is this. The only reason we're talking about this is because this man has a lot of money and he's whatever, Hollywood, whatever. Okay? That's the only reason why we're talking about this. Okay? So here's the
John at his
situation.
son's little league baseball game.
My thing is,
Yeah,
it was between him and Chris Rock. Chris said don't press charges. He ain't getting charges pressed against him. Chris Rock making money from this. Will still
Right.
gonna make money from this. It ain't hurting his bank. Why are we so upset about it?
Right.
Okay? That's all
Well,
I'm
Will's
saying.
pockets
I
is starting to
congratulate
hurt
the
because
man.
now Netflix pulling their movies.
He
Yes.
don't need
and
that.
all
He
these-
don't need that.
It's gonna hurt Will
I'm
a
saying
little bit, but
moving
not too
forward,
much.
Everybody's like, oh, do we want
Not
to work
too
with
much,
Will
but
now?
he has built up his business where
Yeah.
he's the one who producing. He's the one giving opportunities.
I bet you didn't pull Fresh
So-
Prince off of TV.
No, they
Nope,
won't.
I bet
sure
you they
didn't.
don't.
Right, exactly.
But that's
I bet
on
you they
HBO
don't.
but
Max,
that's
I
what I'm
believe.
Let me
saying.
find out
Or
they don't do a
Peacock,
season 2
excuse me.
with Bel Air. I'm
I-
gonna Flash.
I
So I
just want-
suggested.
Hey, was that good?
Something-
I didn't watch it. I didn't-
I just-
All I'm saying is,
Because
we
I'm gonna be lit.
gotta stop putting all our faith into these celebrities, especially black
All I
celebrities.
want is a
because
bad.
they men.
I want Bad Boys 4.
I do.
So I want
Oh,
Bad
yeah,
Boys
yeah,
4.
that's supposed to-
I'm picking up,
I might
but
have to sue you. Your building is
Huh?
on that one too.
What?
So I
No.
think I read they
But
put
I
a
think,
pause on that
but
one
I
too.
think
Yeah.
if they put pause on those things, but at the same time, last year they canceled Nick Cannon,
That's true.
and
look,
this year,
he's been
got
coming
canceled?
back.
remember
Yeah.
when he said the stuff with
about the
People,
Jews.
yeah.
about the Jews,
And
about
And
the
he's
Jews.
been coming
But he's
back
still
even
back on
bigger.
that shit.
Okay.
having his own
He got
show,
kicked off
hosting it.
Viacom dropped him right, but then he didn't.
But
But
then-
then picked up.
No, he got a
You
daytime
can't-
talk show. What I'm saying
Yeah.
is that.
No, they actually
They canceled that.
No,
that
I mean,
show.
but
It wasn't
he
a
got
anyway.
one.
It
But he
wasn't
got
a
one though.
All I'm saying is you can't cancel the
But
Cannon.
can we
But,
Yeah.
but
Can
you know
we-
what? I
can
mean,
we-
let me also speak to that because here's the thing. Like, okay, Chris Rock got slapped, and now I saw like Wanda Sykes and who was the white chick that
Amy.
Oh God.
Amy Schumer. You know what I mean? They was like, oh, I'm traumatized over what happened.
What?
Like you ain't never seen nobody get smacked before.
No.
you.
Like,
Right.
okay, it's not that big a deal. So,
No,
okay,
Wanda
dude got
Sykes-
smacked up.
No,
okay,
Wanda Sykes
you know what I mean?
won. She got an Aflax commercial with somebody slapping the shit out of somebody with a baseball bat across their head. Her and Lil Rel are commentating the whole thing.
She was gonna
Yeah.
explore
So for her to
the
feel
dramatics
Yeah,
of that.
they being dramatic with all of this.
Overly
Especially
dramatic.
Wanda
they being
Sykes.
super dramatic. I'm like, all right, y'all, calm down.
But so the reason why Wanda Sykes came, because like I said, I got my start, I got my bread off of them. That's like my brother. So I understood why she went and Ellen DeGeneres and said all this stuff because she was like, yo, I'm explaining what had happened. Because like, let's keep it a buck. I don't think this is really a race thing, to be honest.
No.
Because like I said,
I don't think
it's
so
more
either.
so about like, can you imagine in one of your brightest moments making the decision because of other things that you had going on
Yeah.
to go and do this?
Be
Because
overly
to be
reactionary.
honest, the 2016 comment was way more, if you wanted to call
Right.
anything
But they
offensive.
weren't there.
No,
Right.
of course, because of that particular thing. It's like, hey, I don't want to be there. She's like, yo, you weren't even invited here. Chill, bro. So when that came to thing, the funnier part, though, two parts I want to discuss real quick before we go on to the next topic was that as a man, open slapping, and a lot of women I don't think consider, so we were talking about this before it starts, open hand slapping a man
It's demeaning.
Is worse
than
than
you
a punch
going up there
and
and
getting knocked
socking
out.
that nigga.
Yeah.
Forgive me, I was supposed to say that. But I'm just saying, like, it's worse than that.
Yeah.
So in the moment when you went to do that, though it was a spur of the moment thing, there was a very concerted effort to, hey, I'm going to disrespect you. And I thought that was something interesting that as we had this conversation between men and women, it was like, as a man, there's certain things we have a conversation about. And women don't quite understand that it's like there's a level of disrespect that happens when certain things happen. So I thought that was interesting. And then, of course, when you saw everybody's reactions, Ryan Gosling was like this. I thought he was a child. That was hilarious.
I love
But
Ryan
that's
Gosling.
the only thing I want to say.
And he did what?
I mean,
I want to say
So good.
everybody brings up the August situation. Everybody
Which is a
brings
completely
up.
this has nothing to do with
Everybody brings
August.
up. Everybody brings up
Nothing.
2016.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say is at both of those situations, neither one of them were in the room when those things were being said.
Right.
Yeah.
So we don't get to see their real time reaction with that. What happened here was that they were in the room when this said.
In
so
the
we
front
got
row.
to see his real time reaction.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with everything, with regardless on everything, if it was me, I probably would have been in there with the 2016 chip on my shoulder because I boycotted something looking for the support.
Right.
We got support from certain black actors, but they didn't get them from all.
Right.
And when you got a chance to be on the limelight in front of all these prominent white people, the first thing you did
Is make
was
fun.
It was make fun of
Yeah.
us. Use this as a butt end of your joke, just so you.
Do you think
can
that
be-
was? Do you think that was racial? What he said?
No, I don't think. No,
I don't
none
think
of
it was
this-
racial.
No,
I'm just asking.
None of this
No,
has
he
to
was
do
making
any.
a joke.
None of this
Yeah.
has to do anything but race. It has to do
No,
with
just
talking.
asking.
It has to do with talking shit. If we was
But
in
he
the
just
streets,
continuously
no,
keeps
if we was
choosing
in
that
the streets,
family.
If we was if
No.
if it was just him and them and they was at a party or whatever and he running his mouth like that, you can slap the shit out. Like that's what I'm just saying. He been running his mouth
Right.
and he's been using every opportunity in front of these people to run his mouth. Now we all know when you grow up in a household with siblings, you fight in the household. That's
Yeah.
one thing. But what do your parents tell you? You don't let nobody outside of that.
Right.
Break in between this. What Chris Rock has been doing has been letting the white elites penetrate right in between that because every time he get a chance to take a jab at his co-black elites, he takes it. There's so many other people in. If you want to write jokes, if you want to have jokes on, there's hundreds of people in there that you can freestyle jokes about. Why do you always have to pick the black folks when it's only so many
or
others
Jada
in
and
the
Smith,
room?
and Will?
So
Why
can
does
I-
it always have to
well,
be them?
Can I ask a question about
Okay,
when
he
he
should've
said
got
something?
punched.
When he said something about Jude Law, because he said something about Jude Law in 2016 as well. What happened?
What did he
I don't
say?
Yeah, I
care
don't
about
even
anybody
remember.
else's
Wait, wait, wait.
response.
Oh,
Okay,
What did he say
but
about
I'm just
Jude
saying.
Law?
No, I'm saying he made
Who
a
is
disparaging
Jude
call.
Law?
Yeah.
That's funny because that's what the start of it was. So I'm saying all that to say, I think I agree with most people in the room. You shouldn't have did that. It like I said, it wasn't a good look for Will Smith to go and do that. I think that if I'm here at this part, he goes and he tells jokes about everybody who's within this particular part. If you are in a particular place where you can't accept that, like you boycotted this 2016, just go boycott it again. So that was my only part there.
I mean, he wasn't the host. He just presented an award.
I mean, presented it, but I'm saying
And at the
presented
same
presentation.
He
No.
just took an opportunity.
So
And like I said, you do it publicly, you get addressed publicly. This is what it is.
That's exactly
I
where
don't
my
agree,
take
but that's
is
a
on
cool-
it.
But
Is
here's the
if
thing. Again, like I had said earlier, just because it's I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, Kendra.
Oh, no, you're
So
good.
just because it's something that's done commonly doesn't make it healthy. And like I had mentioned
Exactly.
earlier, a lot of
Exactly.
people eat McDonald's. We know that there's plastic in the food. We know
Right.
we've seen the ingredients of the chicken nuggets, and we know it's not healthy. But that, and listen, I worked at McDonald's for a long time. We have regulars who we seen every day. So I knew the little Honda came in. I knew what he was getting. You know what I mean? Every day at lunchtime. But we all know that it's not good for us. We all have seen What the Health. We all have seen Superside. We all have seen it. And so just because it's something that's done regularly, and just because it's something we've accepted doesn't make it necessarily healthy. And that's and so even like with the joke, okay, well we know that comedians roast, okay, but we're in a day where we can't do that so much anymore.
But it's a
and
cheat
also
day.
he hit and so
It was a
those-
cheat day.
Chill.
It was a cheat
No,
day.
it happens. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like I
Cheat day.
understand that people are human. Not to come and say no judgment. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody does things out of character. I do things out of character. Had a little incident the other week where I done something a little out of character. And so it happens. And so,
Star.
huh? Listen.
it's on World
World
Star. he says.
Star.
that for real?
No, that's
Send me the link. Send me the link.
So we all, so
She
we all
just
do
Will
things.
Smith
So-
somebody last week. Wow.
That's
So-
what that's gonna be known as right from now on.
So
He got
though
Will
I
Smith.
understand it does happen,
Oh, he
it
got
is the
Chris
fact
Rock.
that we do need to sit back and think that just because it's common, or just because we like it, or just because it's something that makes us feel protected, or whatever the case, just because it's done,
not-
doesn't
yeah.
necessarily make it healthy. Doesn't
Or right,
necessarily
yeah.
make it right.
Yeah.
Because in that moment, I said he could have called on a bouncer to have a bouncer. Even when he went up there, he could have whispered in Chris ear, she's struggling with alopecia. I need you to figure something out. And then Chris would have been,
But
hold on.
why?
But he
Because
already
then-
did.
He already knows.
No, he didn't, because I
They're
didn't know.
friends.
No, I didn't know. But
No,
None of us
they're
didn't know.
family friends.
The joke had already been said.
Right.
So I
Let
don't
me
care
finish.
about.
Can I finish? But now, if I've said something to you, now you have to publicly apologize. You know
No,
what I'm
we
saying?
don't. We didn't have to.
Yo, chill.
Listen, hear me. If you made a joke and I whisper in your ear, hey, listen, this happened. You don't think at that moment he would have said, "Oh, I didn't know, my fault. I'm
Probably
sorry."
not. No,
He might have. And so, though, hear me.
Maybe.
So, though I understand that people are human and make reactions, I do believe something else could have been done. Whether he pulled on a bouncer to say something, whether he said something himself, whether he addressed it in the green room, like Will had pointed out earlier. But just because it's something that we do in the hood or at home or
Agreed.
whatever
100%,
doesn't
yeah.
make it healthy, doesn't make it right. I know my reactions be overreactionary. Girl, let something happen to my little girl. I have
Right.
a whole daughter at home.
So
Chris
here's
Rock did a
here's
whole
my
movie.
take on it.
Chris Rock did a whole movie, Good Hair.
So I
A
get it.
whole thing, documenting
That's one part.
women and their struggle
hear it.
with fitting
Alopecia.
in and their natural hair.
Yeah. Right.
So regardless on what anybody want to say, he didn't know, whatever. He was supposed to be woke enough already
And
to
he's a
know
family
you don't
friend.
take shots at the bald
he
black
knew.
lady
I think
in
the
the
bad-
crowd.
I think the joke
You
was bad.
already
For the
he
second time.
No, he should have got his ass whooped. I'm sorry.
So
You
here's
lucky he just got
before.
slapped.
Yo,
Here,
but
hold
yo,
on,
but
yo,
yo,
yo, yo.
hold on.
This is my-
I didn't even see it as a
Too many,
dig,
too
yo.
many.
I didn't even see it as
didn't either.
as an insult.
Me
G.I.
either.
Jane, it was a movie. It was Demi Moore.
Right,
I'm like,
bald-headed
Will,
chick.
can-
yeah,
bald-headed
but
chick.
was it a diss though?
Yes, I'm bald.
Hey,
I didn't-
hey,
bald-headed.
It wasn't
look,
this,
you
but
bald-headed.
here,
Let's first
listen.
be so loud.
Listen. It wasn't in the rehearsal. Why would he even add it to the. He was literally.
Opportunity.
He took an opportunity, which was wrong, and it caught him. It caught him a smack to the face.
If she like it, if she like
So-
being bald headed, then that's not a diss.
When she has been
All
bald
it
headed
did-
multiple
hey,
times
Dave,
throughout her career.
check
This
it.
isn't new for her.
Right.
Because when I seen her bald, again, well, I didn't know she had alopecia. It's because she
I didn't
been
either.
short.
I thought she was
Yeah,
just.
she did. She's
multiple
been
times
very
throughout.
vocal
I
about
don't
it.
And
know,
so
'cause
when
I don't watch
that don't
Red
mean
Table.
nothing.
Yeah,
It doesn't
I
mean
don't
nothing.
know. And it doesn't
Don't
even-
follow them.
But
And
we
so
don't know how long she's been
because-
struggling with growing her
But
hair.
all I'm saying, because she's had long hair before too, because she's gone back.
But she
and
also
forth.
bleaches as she
Right,
so-
right. So because she has so much going on with it, when I seen she had a bald head and she's on the interview talking about, I love my bald head.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed of it. I don't care what people have to say.
Yeah.
She's not.
Yeah.
But
Both
that
of you-
doesn't mean
did
she's
say
got to
that.
be
But
the
she
butt
did- she
end,
said
you
that
know,
too,
of
maybe
a
2 weeks
joke.
ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now we're doing
Yeah, I
all
saw
of
that
this,
little video.
and now and the light is showing, and I just love it, and it's cool. I said, and again, we've watched her go back and forth so many times since I'm 33 years old, and so I've seen her in a couple things. She's gone back and forth. So, and we're black, so we do the bald thing, we do the hair thing, we do the braids, we do the this, we do the that. So when I seen her bald, I didn't think nothing of it because we're used to seeing Jada with short hair.
That's
And so
true.
whether he had known or done, do I think the joke was tasteful? No. But at the same time, it happened because again, she's short all the time.
Right,
She
but
let
listen
it,
to this,
especially when
though.
2 weeks ago you were just talking about how much.
Okay, well,
Hey.
if
Right,
she'd had
but
cancer,
listen to this, though.
if she had
Chris-
cancer and Will walked up on that stage and whooped his ass, who would have cared if he didn't know?
And
Like,
then
no,
you-
that's
and
what
then-
I'm
But
saying.
he
you know
Who would
what?
care
had
if he
to have
didn't know?
No,
That
no,
is the
no, we're
family
making
friend of
assumptions.
the.
No, it's not a
of the
family friend.
No,
No,
We're
Chris's
Hollywood
family
friends.
and
We're
Will
Hollywood-
and Jada's
we're-
family
we're
are
ho-
close.
No, we're Hollywood friends. We're not friends.
not.
We're Hollywood
Exactly.
friends. So then the
And
last
they
time-
make themselves out in articles to be actually friends,
no,
not
they're
just
not friends, 'cause
Hollywood
you would have
friends.
known that if
They-
you were
they're
friends.
not
You
friends
weren't
because
friends.
if it was
like
friends,
that.
he would have known. He
No,
wouldn't
yeah.
have.
Which is why he knew.
We don't even
No.
know. We don't know if he
don't
did
know.
not
Yeah,
know.
but
Other
even
than-
He said he
No.
said he didn't know. So we're all assuming everything here.
So?
We're literally all assuming everything here. That's the whole
R. Kelly
thing.
said it wasn't him on the tape.
No, we already know that's cap. That's criminal charges right there. That's different. That's cap.
But what are you saying? Oh, so one person can lie and the other person can't?
We're all this is all conjecture. This is all
here
conjecture
it
right
is.
here.
But not knowing
It's-
it's conjecture.
All I
Here
know
it
is real quick. All I know is that if I was Chris Rock and someone slapped me, I literally had 4 jokes lined up. Nigga, you ain't gonna come up here and come and smack me, and I'm gonna get in your behind about everything because as a
Jokes?
man, I had jokes. I had
Jokes?
You would have been on suicide
You
watch
slapped
if I was
me,
up there.
but
I
jokes
would have
is
been
out the window.
Yo,
We ain't
I
doing-
would have
I
had
don't
you
even
on
do jokes no
suicide
more.
watch.
Okay,
You would have been
okay,
up to the
retired.
thing.
Question.
Sorry, continue.
I
Question.
retired that
If
day.
you-
Hey,
No,
no
I'm
more
not.
jokes.
If you were Chris Rock
Yes. Hello. I'm ready. I'm ready
and
for
you
this.
got rocked.
and you got rocked,
Yeah.
knowing that your
I'm
reaction
coining that shit, Chris Rock.
is knowing that your reaction is almost looked at as heightened. Like so they a lot of times they'll take your somebody's reaction
Yeah.
and put it on the scale and weigh it more.
Yeah. What's up?
Do you think that if he had struck back or if he had like
That would have made it much worse.
you
That
think
would've made it much worse.
Okay. Okay. And,
or
It
do
would've
you think it would have made it even?
So
No,
no.
it would've made it worse.
So as much as people want to talk about the slap bringing black people back so far, nobody talks about the reaction being a dignified black response.
That's what I was about to
everybody-
say all
no,
along.
I agree.
Everybody everybody's everywhere.
You don't get to
Everybody's
choose what the reaction
everywhere
is.
with it. And two things can be
Thank
true.
God it wasn't me.
Two things.
I had jokes
I
for
don't-
you.
Two things
I
can
don't
be true.
believe it
No,
till it's
well,
backfired
thank God
on
it
me.
wasn't
I
me.
agree, yeah.
Thank God it was me because jokes is out the window. I ain't
You
giving a
fighting-
damn about no goddamn
listen,
jokes.
listen.
I ain't writing no
I'm talking
more
about
damn
you
jokes.
and
You
your
finna-
family.
if anything,
Everybody,
finna be-
everything's off the thing. Oh, nigga, you want to slap me? You would have fought. I would have fought with my words. I would have fought with my
I'm throwing
words.
the pen that I write my jokes with. And
Can I tell y'all? Can I tell y'all some of my
No
jokes?
more.
Can I tell y'all some of my jokes?
No.
Can I? Oh, okay,
Don't
okay,
do
never mind.
that.
We'll leave it alone.
Don't
Thank
do
God.
that.
Yeah, I had them lined. If I had them lined up,
Jokes got him in a
I would have just
situation
pushed him
that-
off the
No,
stage
no.
as he walked
Every
back.
break.
He kept telling my
Every
jokes.
break.
Here's
Will's
my
not
thing.
here.
He could have
He
just
can do
yelled
it.
out what he
Will's
did
not
instead of
here.
going
He
up
can
there
do
and
it.
smacking
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
But we have
every break, I would have had another joke. Every break,
Every
I would have
break.
had another joke.
But he was only there for one.
he was on there
No,
for-
no, no, no. I would have came up on. Okay, you can slap me in the face. I'm coming up on every
Hold
break.
on, hold on,
Stop
wait,
playing
wait,
with
wait,
me.
wait. Hey,
Every break,
hold on.
I'm
Wasn't
here.
there- hold on. Wasn't there like later in the show? Wasn't there someone else who went up
A lot of
and
people,
said
a couple
something
people.
else
Yeah.
about Jada?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh no, Regina Hall
Regina Hall.
before because this was towards the end of the show.
Yeah.
This is a Source Awards
This-
99
this is-
after
this
that. By the
this
point,
is towards the
I'm coming
95,
up
fam. That
every
was
break,
95.
and I got an August
But
Alsina
they
joke.
s-
I got an
they
entanglement
said
joke.
something
Set
about
it off
that.
joke. I
Yeah,
got all
somebody
those
had said
jokes.
something about
Girl Street.
about Will
Entanglements.
having to to like put up with her boyfriends or something like that.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yes.
made a joke.
Yeah.
Yes.
To me, that is much more
Way much
offensive.
more
Who said that?
It would have been me.
Somebody
though.
did.
Regina
And
Hall.
No,
it
it's
was
just
a
because
woman.
the alopecia thing is just more recent.
Yeah.
So the
Nah.
entanglement stuff, that is
I don't. Here's
that
the thing.
they've already
Way more
addressed all
But I
that, so
feel
that's
like
not as recent
the,
for them.
Way
The
more
boyfriend
disrespectful.
thing is way more
Well,
disrespectful.
the boyfriend
though.
thing happened before.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter
Wait, no, whoa,
how,
whoa. I'm
like,
asking a question.
Yes, yes.
Did the boyfriend joke happen before the
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, it was just building up. That's all. He just came at the
So-
right point.
Nah, he was
No,
laughing. He
no,
looked at
Wait,
her.
No,
What people-
wait,
yeah.
wait.
You right,
All I'm
yeah.
saying is,
You right.
sometimes you just take things and then take things, and then there's a pass between the two of them. So when he pushed that button, he got a reaction.
And he knew
yeah.
he could try him.
No.
He knew he could
And
try
They
him.
we
don't
all-
get to say what his reaction
And we
is.
all want to talk about
Even
mental
though it may
health
be wrong.
and guarding. No,
I'm having you on suicide watch. I got these jokes.
no. We all want to talk about mental health and guarding your mental health and all that type
This
of
is the
stuff and
result.
what people are going through, and we have to be compassionate and show some, what.
I'm good.
No.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what everybody's saying now.
That's what everybody's saying. You're
But-
right.
But,
Yeah.
but they done dragged this man through the mud. They done called him soft. Then they told him he don't know how to run his household.
I have a post on
they done
that,
told-
yeah.
They done told him he
100%.
don't know how to run his household. They done told him that his wife done walk all over him
Yeah.
and everything. And the moment that he gets an opportunity to protect his wife in front of the world,
Yeah.
everybody want to
Should
say,
do better.
now you wrong.
Right.
Y'all, no.
Right.
Y'all pushed
I
him to
agree.
this point. Everybody pushed him to this point.
I don't think everybody pushed him to this point.
Nothing
He's
was
in
built up.
control of his own reactions, but
say-
I think that was the
No,
perfect
no
time for
question
him to
that.
show the
Listen,
world,
listen.
hey, I'm not
Listen.
having no more of this shit.
Right.
This is
Jada
what
ain't
it
in
is.
the room. Jada ain't in the room right now. Let's take Jada out of the room. Take her totally out the room.
Right.
You doing something to show and tell the world, I get the emotion, but just because people do it, don't make it right. So that's
Right.
where I said there was that it's
Yeah.
like, take Jada out the room. You look like a absolute fool. The worst. You're literally the picture of simp.
Right.
It still wasn't right. I'm just saying, you came up here just between you and me, man. I can't smack you in front of these white people,
not simp
so
when
I'm
it's your
putting
wife.
you up there. I'm putting every joke I got. I'm lining you up.
When it's your wife, it's not simp.
No, I said
Yeah.
remove her out the room. That's it.
Yeah.
Forget about her in the room.
Okay.
because he's already looks crazy out here.
Yeah, but if she wasn't in the
But the
room
whole thing was
and it was just
about her.
him, if she wasn't in the
can't
room
take her out
and
the
she
room.
was just him, they would have dragged him
Yep.
because they'd have been like, you don't let him talk about your wife like that in the room, and you just laugh.
Yeah.
You can't win.
You
and
can't win.
You
There
can't,
wouldn't
you
have been
can't,
no
you
winning
can't
for
win.
that, yeah.
And the
Only-
smack doesn't
only way-
happen if she's not in the room.
The only, but
No, it
no,
doesn't.
I don't
It
know.
doesn't.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
No, you're right. It
doesn't.
doesn't. Her
Yeah.
look,
It wouldn't.
her
'Cause he laughed.
look
He
of
laughed at the
dismissing
joke.
him.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
He
No,
laughed
No,
at the joke.
hold up.
Hold up. Every man
You
that's
look,
been in the
you
joke
look
that
at that
for a long
laugh. It
time,
was not a true
or
laugh.
been married.
Because
No.
No,
okay,
No, that
you
look.
have to understand human reactions.
Yeah, it
I've
was-
seen
yeah,
people
yeah,
who
yeah.
laugh when you
Yeah.
say something. They go ha ha ha, and then they stand up and punch you in the face. That was not no laugh. It's
and he
funny.
talks about
That was
he
not
talks
a
about
ha-ha,
in his
it's
book
funny. It
how
was
jokes
not.
and laughter was his way of
Covering stuff.
of covering
Yep.
the pain. So I knew his immediate laugh
Was not, "Oh, it's funny."
Well, he knew that the camera was going to be on him,
Yeah.
so he doesn't want people to show that he was pained by it. But his wife showed that, and then we all know. You get the side eye from your wife. That ride home, if you don't act on
Yeah.
it, ain't cool.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You feel me?
True.
You finna hear
That's-
it the
that-
whole
But that,
ride.
and that's
home.
why I
and
agree.
Like I said earlier, working the room.
Yeah.
And so I myself am not married, but as you guys know, I've watched my parents be married. I've watched my grandparents. I've watched this stuff.
You not
So
ma- you
watching
not
the men in
married?
my life move and how they protected me.
You not married yet?
No, listen. So let that keep acting right.
She won't even put him on her face.
All right.
Yo, chill.
I need that.
You just ain't see him. He on there, though.
Like,
So he on there though. You just ain't see him. But watching how the men in my life have protected me and the women in my life, and watched how they move, and Cameron can attest, and you know my grandparents, my grandpa and my dad, and watching how the men in my life move, from my uncles to my granddad to my father. And seeing this, that's how come I can look at it and be like, it could have been done differently. You know what I'm saying? I said,
True.
definitely something
Yeah.
could have been because I've watched,
And
I've
and
watched
I was-
dad,
I
and
was
I've
raised
watched
by-
granddad move, move certain ways to protect my mom or to protect my grandma.
I was
So it's like,
raised
no, it
by a
could have been done
man
differently.
who was the senior research analyst for Bayer. You feel me? Makes tons of money.
Right.
Now lives over in Jamaica. Never was very quiet man. Never was but the times that I seen his wife or his children be disrespected, no matter where he was at, he wasn't having it. And so you have, you have people who operate that way.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that Will has always operated that way, but the public scrutiny of how he handles his family
He's broken.
has pushed him to a point to where now he reacts a certain way and everybody's shocked. No, you fed the lion.
Yeah.
You fed the lion. While he was trying to be a zoo animal, you took him back to the jungle.
I believe he's broke.
And now
You know what
he's
I'm
in
saying?
West Philadelphia, born and raised. It ain't just got in a little fight. My mama sent me to move with my uncle. No, we was scrapping.
And he's talked about fighting and stuff. So we've seen him hit the report. Like, so we know that
you took him back to West Philly. And that's the thing.
And that's the unfortunate part about it is that I literally made a post about this where it's like male. The mental health aspect of things. So though I talk about like Chris Rock doing that because like that's a whole separate issue.
Right.
Is that it's like nobody was meant to be in front of a camera all the time. And this is why I really even before this happened was like you're in front of the camera all the time. You got in front of the camera so much I didn't even want to see you anymore because I didn't like seeing you in movies because I keep on seeing your nonsense and it's bleeding over into the characters that I'm watching you do.
Right.
A lot of them. And so it was like. It was unfortunate, but I think it was a necessary thing that had to happen, a turn of events for him to kind of go and get his mind back right. Because like I said, he's so excellent at what he does. I would love to see him operating truly and completely in his craft. So all this other stuff, hopefully, like I said, whether things get taken away or they don't get taken away, hopefully you can get back to the essence of who you are and who you need to be for your family. And I don't want to see you all the time. Do your work, take care of your family, and that should be it. Because any more than that, you're going crazy.
But we've been seeing him a lot less. And so it's not like he's
more than I'm used to.
At one point, he did oversaturate us with him.
That's all I remember. It's
And
like I don't watch a lot.
And lately he hasn't. And I think lately he's been on a journey to be more mentally healthy.
Absolutely.
And so.
But he needs more time, apparently.
It's not about when you're actually on the path and you're actually just starting the journey. It's easier to have these detours.
But I think also stuff can still trip you up no matter.
Always.
Absolutely.
Always.
So we're human. Reactions
Always.
happen.
But we're talking about he's opened up something that has been closed for a long time.
And I agree with
very
that.
long
I agree
time.
with that, yeah.
I mean, he talked about his mother
Watching
being
his
beat.
father
You know,
beat his mother. Yep.
Watching about his mother getting beat and not being man enough to
To-
protect
yep.
her.
Yes.
You know, and that's what I'm saying. So all these things are happening, and then you have this moment, this flash moment, where his wife is being humiliated, and he has to make a decision. Am I going to let my wife be publicly humiliated like that and not do anything? And guess what? Usually your first reaction is probably not the best one.
Right.
And that's what he went with.
More times.
That's what he went with.
Right.
You
And
know?
that's how come I feel like no one's mad at him.
Yeah.
We can agree or disagree because I think we
Yeah.
can all say ain't nobody mad.
No.
I might disagree with you.
I think
Yeah,
there are
yeah,
some
yeah.
people that are mad.
but I don't
I've seen
disagree.
some
But look,
comments.
No. I've spoken to a lot of very affluent white people, black people, who are pissed off at him.
Yeah.
And it's, you know,
So we human.
Or like, I'm no
after a
longer
while,
a
it's not-
fan, et
right,
cetera, et
exactly.
cetera.
After a while, it's not about
Yeah.
color; it's about money. After a certain point in
Yeah.
time, but like you said, this had to have happened, and it had to have happened in the way it happened for something positive to come out of it.
And I,
So
Yeah,
quick question
yeah.
though.
What's up?
Quick question now.
What did the
So-
finger say to the face?
No, come on, man.
There you go. There
But
you go.
check
Look
this
at
out though.
listen, I had him locked and loaded.
So,
He could have stood up
Hey.
and said that, right?
Exactly.
but look, if the public has pushed him to this place and this level, and now he got to stand up for his wife, and he wasn't wrong in standing up for his wife, then why apologize?
Because the Oscars made him.
No, because if you a man, can't nobody make you no less.
I don't think his
he
apologies. I don't think
Yeah,
his apologies.
Yeah,
but I
and-
don't think his
everybody.
And the
I don't
fact
think
that
the apology-
he
He
is.
didn't- oh wait, no, the speech that he made when he
I don't think his
No,
apology-
No, he
he
didn't
took to
apologize.
Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't think
and
he
says,
apologized.
first of all, I want to
Yeah.
apologize to Chris. This is not indicative of the man I want to be, and I'm
Yeah.
becoming this. So he himself made himself look like, oh man, I should not have done that.
He knows, and I
Well,
can
agree.
answer
I
that.
think we
Yeah,
all know
because
that-
it was the
I think
heat of the moment.
Everybody believes that it was the wrong place, wrong time. I don't really have a problem with it. No,
Yeah.
I don't. No.
I know you don't. I'm not saying anything.
I
about
don't
it.
wrong with it. I feel
But
like
you're
I feel like you cross the line publicly. I cross the line publicly. That's
Right,
how it
but
goes.
stand behind your actions.
but
If
I
you
feel-
meant it, then you meant
But
it.
I feel
Right,
like public.
right.
I feel like public facing. you've got to address it,
Yeah.
and you've got
In
to
entertainment, I
apologize,
think-
But
even if
yeah.
assault is wrong. Assault is wrong, and so regardless on if I felt it was right, that don't make it right. And so that's where this where
live
we
as
have
a
to
public
separate.
figure. You're in a public
feelings
figure,
aren't
too.
feelings aren't fact. So I feel like his reaction was justified. That doesn't make it justified.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
Like I said,
that's
yeah,
where
okay.
that's where
Yeah,
the
that's
difference.
right.
That's where the difference of it is
I
at.
agree with that.
Like
Yeah.
and so. Yeah, because he could have went to jail. That's
Yeah.
assault.
Yeah.
That's
Still,
wrong.
he can still.
Look,
He can
still
still go to
He
jail.
can still
what
go
I'm
to
trying to
jail.
tell,
He
but what
go
I
to
want
jail.
people, what I want people to understand is we've all witnessed an assault happen
Right.
and somebody not go to jail and somebody not press charges.
Right.
This is not the first person who did
Right.
it.
That's
We
true.
just seen somebody. We just seen somebody be
With money.
human
Yeah.
on camera
Yeah.
Right.
when
But
we expect them
hold
to
on.
be robots.
But
Right.
hold on. If we be honest though, okay, just say all of us in here are married or have children or whatever,
Right.
and then you come up smack my son or my daughter or my spouse,
I'm about to whoop fire to me.
right?
You
And
don't-
guess
you
what?
don't- you don't
I'm not
wanna know what I'm gonna
apologizing
do.
for it.
You
No,
don't
I
wanna know.
will.
You see what I'm
No,
saying?
no,
If
no.
you
I
disrespected
will.
my
After the
wife,
I will.
After the fact.
I will say I am sorry
Can
that
we-
you took me to that point
Exactly.
to where I had to beat the brakes off of you.
So we do understand that
That's
these
not an
people.
apology.
I don't even think his apology was an apology. Let's keep it a
you
buck.
can save
That
that
wasn't an
apology.
apology.
I don't
You can
think
save
it was-
that
I think it was
apology.
half-assed,
an
but-
apology, like
That
you
wasn't
said.
an apology.
That was
I think
you-
it was
that
just something
your-
that he
Covering
that was his
bases.
made to
public-
do.
his-
Yeah,
his
HR,
PR.
covering
yeah,
bases.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
That
You
was
That's
don't
what I
Chris
meant
Rock.
by
You don't like
Oscar
Chris
said
Rock.
PR, yeah.
They don't like each
that
other.
was his public. That was his
Yeah, that was-
publicist
yeah.
saying,
The way
you
that-
gotta go out in front of this and say
This
something.
man was out here dug it.
that was
my bad.
that was
Like,
publicist
out
and
here with it.
agent.
Yeah, because did you see his TikTok with him and Jada talking about we went in there about ready for
So
chaos.
that's what I'm saying. So
He probably in there shadow boxing.
Well, I mean, you know,
Right.
he's in the after party talking about singing, getting jiggy with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He got the
No,
Oscar in his
no,
hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They
And I
turning
think,
up.
I think that's part of why he was like, "Hey, I got my Oscar. I can apologize
Exactly.
tomorrow. I can apologize tomorrow."
Yeah.
Hey, but I mean,
Because
to me,
it
to
should
me
have been
that
that.
takes away from the genuinity of it. Is that the word?
Yeah.
that's cool. I got it.
The- the-
You don't have to be
Yeah, but you, hey,
Yeah.
y'all feel me what I'm saying?
Sincerity, yeah.
Hey,
Sincerity.
yeah, thank
Better
you.
word.
Yeah, I should have just.
I
yeah,
was
thank
I
you.
was rocking with that.
Hey,
That was
hey,
okay.
you know, I tried. Check this out, but here's the thing.
It is a word in the dictionary, though.
Yeah, I think so. But anyway,
I don't think
look,
it's a word in the
because
dictionary, but-
look, moving on. You know, he got his Oscar. You know, and King Richard was a great movie.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
He did his
Amazing
thing.
movie. I
He
loved
deserved the Oscar.
Well, they
And
about
I'm
to
glad
take
that
that
he
joint away.
celebrated.
Yep.
You know, he got to
Winning the
celebrate
Oscar.
the moment.
Yep.
That's his first Oscar. You know what I'm saying?
Probably gonna be
Hey,
his
hey,
last.
hands off to it. I believe it was much deserved. But
It's not
it
tarnished.
also, when I see you
It's not
lit,
tarnished.
when
We'll remember this
I
forever.
see
Yes.
you lit at
We'll
the
remember
party
this
though,
forever.
but
Hey,
here's the thing.
really, though, they're
When
about
I
to
see
take
you lit
that
at the
joint away,
party,
though.
He just enhanced his.
Yeah.
He
Wait, say that
enhanced his
again?
legend.
They're about to take
He
that
enhanced
joint
his
away,
legend
though.
because-
No,
I don't
no,
think
no, I won't say that.
No, you
won't
say
say-
You'll remember it.
I hope they don't.
20 years
I hope
from
they
now,
don't either.
20 years from now, they're gonna be like,
Remember
oh,
when
you
Will
remember
Smith-
when Will Smith? You remember when Will Smith
Yep.
slapped the shit out of Chris Rock?
Yep.
And they'll be like, oh snap, he
Yeah.
won an Oscar that night.
Yeah.
Wait, hold up.
That's exactly how it's
So-
gonna go.
Here's the
This
thing.
is actually
There's
Black
no
history.
losers in this situation.
In the making.
Because
Black
this
history.
is the most watched. It was the most watched Oscars. One.
Mm-hmm.
Will won an Oscar. Two. Chris shows is
Selling
selling out.
out.
Yeah.
Like
all-
skyrocket.
yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Everybody
Prices,
winning.
though.
Everybody is
Everybody
winning.
winning.
Yeah.
And Black,
Wait,
and
hold
Black
on,
history.
hold on.
So
in
wait
Black
a minute.
history-
So wait a minute. Hold up. When you think about it, the Oscars, their rating has been going down
Yeah.
for years.
Oh, it's gonna go
Now
up.
it, but that's what I'm saying.
It's gonna
So
go
wait,
up.
hold on.
But well, number one, hey, hold on,
And
hold
in
on.
Oscar history, we're gonna say Will Smith is the first black man to slap somebody on camera and get an Oscar after.
Right.
That sounds hard.
He's the first human to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's the first human.
First human.
You know what I'm
In
saying?
your Boondocks
But, hey,
voice, in your
hold on,
Boondocks
hold on.
voice, if you
But
say
look,
that does sound kind of hard. I'm not saying
But
that.
look,
Yo,
hey,
you
hey,
slap somebody
a couple
and
things though.
I'm just
Just
saying.
about the Oscars. First of all, it was the first time. Hold on, look.
It sounds kinda good.
This was the 94th annual Oscars. It was the first time a black man produced
Right,
and
that
directed.
too. Yep.
Will Packer did that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he had the black host. He had black people because remember a few years ago they was boycotting because it said Oscar
Yeah.
so white.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So now the black people's
Not
in the
Chris Rock
building.
though.
You know what I'm saying? Facts. That's true.
Get your tech play. I'm not mad at you.
Hey, here's the thing. You know what I mean?
He actually wore a white tux for it.
Hey, here's what kind of got under my skin. The fact that slap overshadowed so many moments.
Shaq and
that,
Steph Curry.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
Samuel L. Jackson, first Oscar.
Yeah.
Questlove.
First Oscar.
Questlove.
Questlove won.
You know what
I
I'm
didn't see
saying?
any of
Hey,
that.
Why Chris Rock was up there? Because he was going to be the one
To give him
presenting.
credit.
Right. Hey, it's true.
Questlove missed it because he was in the back meditating.
But
Hey,
but Quest.
The power of
Hold on.
meditation.
Hey, but the thing is, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even know about Questlove's movie,
Yeah.
Summer of Soul.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We
But-
only heard about the movie at the Oscars.
yeah. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
I didn't know.
what
I didn't know.
I didn't know what Coda was
What
until
you-
the Oscar came.
Hey,
Still can't
hey,
watch
here's
it.
the
I ain't
thing.
got Apple TV.
Samuel L. Jackson has 157 movies. This is his first
I've seen-
Oscar.
It's
Hold on,
100,
did
no,
you know
it's
that
190.
Denzel was in Macbeth?
190.
It's
Yes.
190.
I didn't.
What,
It's-
who?
Did you know that Denzel was in Macbeth?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know that.
Hello. Whoa.
that. I
Here's
didn't
the
know that.
thing. Denzel is a classically trained
Oh,
actor.
no, I know that.
He's been doing
I know that.
Shakespeare
Right,
for
But I
right,
didn't
years.
know he
right,
was in.
right.
But
No,
he-
but that's what I'm saying.
he
I
didn't
didn't know he
know.
was in
I
Macbeth
didn't know that.
until
Yeah.
I seen
Yes.
he was going up
It was in
against
the
Will
movie.
for
It
the.
wasn't in the movie
I
theater.
had no.
But no, and I mean, but
Who been to
at
the
the
movie?
at the
All
same
right.
time, me.
Usually.
But at the same time, if it's not in your, I say a lot of these
That's
movies,
true.
a lot of these
It's not
movies,
in your scope.
that's why the Oscars is dwindling in importance because it's important for a resume, but at the same time, all of us are not seeing the last year's
You know,
winner.
hey.
Last year's winner was Nomadland. Nobody, I didn't even.
What?
I'm
I
a
didn't
movie
even know
buff.
that
What?
last year's winner was.
Nomadland, because
What?
no one had watched
Yeah,
it.
I'm a movie buff, and I didn't even see. I didn't even see Nomadland.
Right.
What?
I
I was still,
Yeah.
Because
I was
it's
still
not-
tripping that a movie with all the people doing sign language won. I was like,
wait, what? Wait, no,
Exactly.
no.
yeah.
Coda,
Hey.
Coda,
Coda
yeah,
is
Coda,
all- yeah.
Coda is
People
about
silent.
it's about a deaf family,
Yeah.
but the daughter is not deaf and she
Right.
wants to do music, and so it's kind of like that.
Against
Anybody
the
seen it?
family.
That
They
Anybody
won.
seen it?
We just saw
It won, yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
The thing about the Oscars
Yeah, I was
is there's
confused
a lot
too.
of movies. It's always independent films,
Yep.
international
Okay, I'm about to
films.
watch
But
that.
you know
And
what?
the average Joe
Yeah.
don't really
That's
watch
wild.
these
Right.
things.
Okay, I
And
think
the
I have-
only
I think I
time
might
the
still have
average Joe watches these things is after it blows up in the,
Yep.
in the
But it's
award
really
show.
for the industry. It's
It
for
is.
them. It's
Yep.
for them. They
That's
get the
true.
vote.
That is
you know,
true.
because him,
So no, Coda,
Will Smith
Coda.
now
right,
resigning
that's
from the
what I'm
Academy.
saying.
They were saying that this means he doesn't get the vote on movies anymore on who
cares?
wins the Oscars. So what?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
But-
then I-
but
and-
be-
They're
what you're
just
telling
taking
me
away
is
a
that
black vote
all
is
the
all.
actors of these
As if
movies
that
are the
mattered
ones who
anyway,
vote
right?
on what the best movie is. This is for y'all. This is for Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's not for
Well,
us.
and they're not
The
gonna
Grammys
take-
is the same
What Will
way.
Smith, what
The
Will
Grammys
Smith
is the
needs to
same.
do is he needs to remix Parents Just Don't Understand and make it to Fans Just Don't Understand.
Well,
That would
and,
be a
well,
great PR move.
part of this
Hey.
is they're not going to take.
I gotta say, I was definitely a Fresh Prince fan. He had joints back in the day. Parents just don't understand. Remember the joint he did for Freddie, Nightmare on My Street. You know what I'm
Yes, I
saying?
remember that, yeah, I remember
See, I was going to do a Chris Rock joke, but Willie's sitting right next to me, and I didn't want to get the shit slapped out of me. So I just didn't
But
do
look,
it.
though,
I just
hey,
did
hey,
not do
I-
it. That's
hey,
how
hold
you
on,
do
hold
it,
on.
Chris Rock.
Hey,
100%.
I'm not pro Chris Rock in this.
And you
Right.
caught the right brother because Dylan wouldn't have. But Willie, sure enough, would.
I just wanted to
He
make
will.
sure.
He will be that.
That's funny.
What?
So the
Hey.
last,
Hey, but
the
look,
last thing
I'm not pro Chris Rock in this.
Right. Just
But
because you
yeah,
disagree doesn't
but
mean that you're
I'm
pro the other
also
one.
not pro Will
You're
Smith
not
in his
anti-
actions.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I think that it was
that jumpsuit
it was
don't
an
say
L.
that you ain't pro
Yeah.
Will Smith.
I'll say his last thing on this topic, and then we can go on.
Yeah.
I will say
Oh wow.
it's ridiculous.
We got it.
I will say just on the ending on this topic is that when I was watching this stuff happen, I was like, yo, I wanted to be his PR people. Like, yo, let me get on the phone with Chris Rock's people because I had a title for his next two specials. Everybody Really Hates Chris. And I had Between a Smack and a White Place.
Oh, that would be.
That would have been
That'd
good.
be pretty good,
That'd have been
actually.
pretty hard,
That
wouldn't
would
it?
be
Yeah,
good.
that
Can
would
you
go
imagine? He would have
hard.
got a bigger bag than Dave Chappelle.
He would have
That would've
because
been different.
and you didn't even have to
Smack on
you
a
don't-
hard
and you didn't even
place.
have to talk about anybody's Any
You didn't even have to, but
You
it
don't
was
have to
like
talk
coming
about-
off the thing between a.
Yep.
I was gonna say either between a smack in a hard place or a smack in a white place.
And then
Right.
you can make a
I said
Christmas
smack in a
album.
white place.
You can make a Christmas album and call
Yes.
it Chris Rock the Bells.
Yo, there would have been so much merch.
Hilarious.
There would have been so much
That's
stuff.
funny.
He could have got back all the money his ex-wife took from
Listen,
him
you
all
guys
off of that.
You guys are. You should be holding on to these bags. You guys is letting
hopefully not
them
too many
loose.
people see this. We might need to contact
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You might
We
have
need
to go
do it.
and you might have to go get a lawyer and coin
Yeah,
this
yeah,
and
let's
keep it
protect,
under.
like-
But
Right.
just,
Trademark
just
that
so people
real quick.
talking about him getting arrested and stuff like this, right? So here's my take on all of this whole legal action and stuff like that. So Chris said he don't want him arrested. People are saying it's still an assault, and the DA and all kinds of stuff should still look at it. I'm like, okay, this is California. Wasn't the DA just talking about they have so many cases? They ain't got enough people or time.
They got
But you
CNA.
wa-
They
but-
got CNA agencies right now doing prostitution
But-
rings. I'm just saying.
But
that's happening
that's
right
what
now.
I'm saying.
So, yeah,
So
there's a
you
lot of
don't
stuff
have time for the regular people cases. You
Yeah.
got Pookie sitting in county for 2 years waiting on a date, but you got time to talk about Will smacking.
That would have been stupid.
Because it was high profile still.
Yeah.
I'm
High
just
profile.
saying.
They have
If he wanted to, you would have to, but it's like
Right.
it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
No, it doesn't.
And then
Yeah.
to the fine for
Yeah, it's
slapping somebody in Los Angeles is $10,000. Will sweats that.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is, you know what I'm saying. So I don't believe
Okay for a smack.
Yeah, no, that's all.
it's because it was open-handed.
Yeah, if
It's a
had-
different-
It
yeah,
should be
'cause
100,000.
I
That's
don't-
disrespectful. It's
I don't even
disrespectful.
think that he sweats that. That's like one of the little eye burgers.
Right.
Right,
No,
you're
I
right.
think I felt really bad for Chris just because, also too,
He got
Will was
rocked.
a lot bigger than him. That nigga got rocked.
It's the
He
worst.
ate that though.
Yes, he did.
He ate that.
Yeah.
He ate that.
nigga's a
That was
long
Brooklyn that ate
He had
that.
his hands behind his back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
At
saying?
155 pounds.
Well, I honestly think
Wait,
that he was shocked as hell. I think
He was.
shocked.
He was.
But
He
it-
was shocked,
Okay.
but Will didn't give him his full power either.
But if Will had gone up there and done anything else, we would have.
We would have known because
Oh,
he
they
would have took
wuld
his
have been-
tuxedo off. He would have took his
He would have
tuxedo
said, yeah,
off.
he would have done. But also, if he had done anything else besides hit him, we would have been like,
oh, he's a punk.
he's a punk.
Exactly.
We would have called him so
Yes,
much.
no.
People would have
No,
called
no,
him.
I wouldn't know.
so
I
much
wouldn't know.
more.
I wouldn't know.
Who you talking about, Chris Rock?
A lot of
No,
men,
no,
a lot
Will.
of
People
men-
would have called. People would have talked
No,
about.
men haven't
completely
said. Men haven't been
disagree on
saying.
that
To be
overall.
honest, can we
Because,
keep it a buck?
social media is
Yeah.
trash.
Men in the
Yeah.
room, and then just men in general. When I've been on social media,
Men really are for that shit.
men weren't really talking about the smack thing. They were just like, "Yo, bro, you really did that? That's crazy." Because look at The Rock. Look at the 9. They had 12
Yeah,
photos.
yeah, that was the
all the men
funniest.
on there were like, "I can't believe you
like,
did."
"Damn."
Other than okay, exactly.
Everybody like,
exactly. Yo,
I like.
because
I like
was,
Charlize Theron. She was like,
Yeah.
she
Everybody was like
everybody was
Smokey.
there.
Everybody was like Smokey when he uppercutted Red.
they didn't expect. They didn't expect
That
for
was
it to
a
happen.
beautiful moment to see everybody go.
I think The Rock. Part of why The Rock.
Because Rock is he's a brown dude, knowing that we can't express our masculinity like that on the stage. You're nuts. You're nuts.
Plus,
Hold
I
on.
think. Plus, I think.
Chris Rock has never shown any type of masculinity.
No, but I'm saying that's like but for you to.
Not in movies,
No,
not in
no,
comedy
but no,
shows.
he said
nothing.
he said The Rock. He said The Rock.
No, The Rock.
Yeah,
So I'm
The
saying,
Rock.
I'm saying, like The Rock was like,
Oh, okay, not Chris
I'm-
Rock.
You, Will Smith, I've modeled my life after you blockbusters and stuff like that, and you gonna go up here and just smack
Yeah.
the crap.
Okay.
You're different
Okay.
right now. This
But I
is
bet you
different.
if it was Tyrese up there and he said something,
No,
The
that's
Rock
what I'm
would have
saying.
walked up there.
That's
Oh
what
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah, no, that's different.
Hulk
That's different.
smash.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm,
that's different. That's
I'm
different.
sure The Rock was looking like, man, if that had been Vin Diesel, I would have socked that dude right there.
Oh no, they would have had a brawl.
They would've-
They're like, oh, this is Fast and Furious 11. Okay, I
would've
got you.
stopped that.
That was scripted. You couldn't have told me that wasn't scripted if that happened. I'd have been like, oh,
They'd
this
been
is an outtake.
rearranging furniture and everybody just been like,
Hold
oh, it's
up.
fake.
You mean Vin Diesel and The Rock don't get along?
No,
Nobody gets along.
They haven't
There's
gotten
too many
along
egos.
since number 5.
Yeah.
Really?
Because
And
the
then Tyrese
the
started
Rock,
beefing with
yeah, the Rock,
They had how many punches
Yeah.
that each person was supposed to land
Yeah.
because to them they're like, yo, people might see me as the egos that are
it's-
in these
it's
rooms
it's-
are ridiculous.
It's in the contract that
Rock didn't want to get his ass whooped.
I can never lose a fight. That's why if you look the most recent,
serious? Yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
no, it's in the contract.
yeah.
Nobody's ever won versus
Yeah,
movie.
it's in the contract.
I didn't know
And
that.
Jason
Nobody's ever won the
Statham's
fight.
Jason
That's
Statham's
terrible.
contract also states he can't lose.
Jason Statham's
They can get
165
beat
pounds.
in the middle, like in the middle, they get beat up and then the guy flows away. Like the last one with
Yeah.
As long as they
Idris.
win at the
Yeah.
end.
As long as they win at the end, but they can't like really lose a fight. It's in their
Or it got to
contract.
be like a draw.
Or it's
Yeah,
got to be
because-
like a
yeah,
draw.
Because all these movies have been ending to where it's like, oh, well, I can't really fuck them up, so let's join
Yeah.
teams.
But
Like,
also
it's
Exactly.
like-
I can see that because they got little 8-year-olds looking up to
Shoot
him,
me like
and
G
after
Baby
that,
and
it's
Hardball.
like,
I don't care. Give me a check.
You
Give me
ain't
a check.
nobody, you know what I
but
mean?
also
Shoot me like G Baby and Hardball.
Or Chris Brown and,
Yo,
and
exactly.
Stomp
Right.
Give me a check.
at the beginning.
Yo,
I just
give me a
wanted to-
check.
Quick,
Shoot me at the beginning.
But
G
also,
Baby.
The Rock-
That was a sad.
You're right.
Not
the
G,
Rock,
baby.
the Rock, and
Little nigga, yo.
the Rock and Vin Diesel. But we can go. This is the last point on this topic. They're beefing because of stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And also like not getting along on set. Vin being late to set.
Too many.
Vin like
all that.
A lot of
Vin-
ego.
Yeah, it's a lot of ego in it, but also
Well,
it's.
and then
Yeah.
The Rock trying to steal the Fast and Furious
Franchise, and what's his name's executive director.
Yeah, that's why
executive
Tyrese was upset because
producer.
Tyrese was like, "No, don't do a side movie.
Yeah.
We gotta all be together."
Yeah,
Rock's
Tyrese
like-
is trying to get it
But didn't
back.
they
Chill,
already
bro.
do that?
Enjoy
Didn't
yourself.
They already do a spinoff?
Yeah,
I'm
but
like,
Tyrese,
Hobbs and
Hobbs and Shaw.
But
You know
Hobbs
what I
and
mean?
Shaw cut all of them out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
they
that's
cut all
what they
of them.
didn't like. That's
Yeah.
what the beef was. Ludacris really wasn't beefing with him.
Because he's
Tyrese-
real.
He's
He's
Tyrese,
smart.
yeah.
He's
He's
smart.
like, I'm still making
The
word of
fran-
mouth money.
The
You know?
franchise is
Yeah.
losing money, so they have to do a spinoff with somebody who was still bringing in numbers. We all know that The Rock brings
Well,
in
I don't
numbers.
know about-
So if the movies aren't doing, at
Idris
least
Elba,
the movies
yeah.
aren't doing well,
Yeah.
then we might as well go ahead and make this little spinoff because we know
But
The
who-
Rock
I
is
don't know
who's
if
the
they
only
were-
person who
I
eats
don't
off
know
of
if they
that?
was. I don't know if they wasn't doing well. They had already made 5 before
No,
he came.
it was going back up after.
It was going back up.
No, after 4 it went down, and then when they came back, that's when they started making a lot more money, and that's when they started doing everything else besides
the
stealing
cocaine.
cars.
Before stealing cars, yeah. I
But
was
then,
like, I
but
stopped
then
watching.
Paul Walker died, and
Yeah.
then that was a big wrench in the whole thing.
Yeah, because he was supposed
like
to
the
be.
He was
Yeah.
like the staple of the whole thing.
But Tyrese isn't relevant in any of this. He just kept on talking because he
Yeah.
likes to talk. Listen,
Yeah.
just get your little cameo, get
Tyrese
your
is
money.
not
out.
relevant at all.
No,
I'm sorry.
He's a whole
I'm
mess.
sorry.
He's a whole mess.
Like, when's his last album? When's his last song? When's his last hit? You know what I mean?
That's why
lives
Ludacris
his
stays
whole-
quiet
puts
because
his
Ludacris is
whole
like, yo,
life
this is a
on
nice
social
bag
media.
for
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the work.
yeah.
Entire life is
yeah,
on
yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
God bless
we-
all these
Come on,
people
man.
and all that kind of
His
stuff.
last,
So, yeah.
you know what I mean?
But we can go to this-
Come on,
We
man.
can go to this next topic before we get out of here.
There is another topic. No, I'm just
Yeah.
how does Chris feel about being?
I know. What does his face think? Well,
How does his face feel?
I wanted to talk about. There's 2 topics I wanted to talk about. There's one. We can go this one though. About how do you guys feel about unions and workplaces? And the reason why I brought it up is because Amazon just
Yeah.
lost.
And that was a
Yeah.
black man that did that.
It was a couple of them. It was
Yeah.
a couple
Oh,
black
really?
dudes there.
Yeah.
Okay. I
And
didn't know that.
I wanted to get how everybody feels because I was looking at some of the statistics about unions around the country and stuff like that,
Sometimes
and
the quality of work goes down.
participation in unions is down. And but no, that I think that's a really good point. Say that again.
The quality of work goes down when unions usually get involved because it creates like a job security for the people involved. So they care less about the type of jobs they do because they know that they have a job security and the union backs them up on everything. My sister was a union rep for a long time, so she got people. She would have to defend people doing like a teacher made a racial remark during assembly, and she had to defend the teacher and help her keep her job, and you know she she didn't believe in what she had to do it, and the lady was still able to keep her job because unions have rules that are made to protect
the worker,
employees
yeah, the
from
employee, yeah.
the corporation. So they're bittersweet.
Yeah,
They
I would
do
say
have
that.
their benefits, but I think people abuse them too much.
The original intent of the union was to protect,
Come through HR.
not only that, but to protect workers, their safety.
Yeah.
That's the
100%,
original
yeah.
intent of unions because a lot of people were working and dying because of conditions and stuff like that. They've changed a lot in the fact that it's so difficult to fire someone when they're in a union. it's no longer about protecting their safety or their benefits.
Protecting
It's
their
about protecting them so that they can never get fired.
Protecting
And
that
they've
check.
and the issue is it's not. I agree with unions, but I don't agree with how they've been they're abused and how they're being used and abused and used because now instead of it's like who's going to protect the company, the business at a certain point. Now, Amazon warehouse workers needed a union.
Yeah,
because
they
they
have
have
been
control,
yeah.
people
Let me
have
tell you something.
people have gotten
Trash.
Yes,
killed.
yeah.
Did that.
People, the safety is terrible. There's a lot of stuff, so they need a union to protect them.
But I guarantee
But-
you there's going to be a lot more logistic errors now because they have a union.
Right, but see, that's the thing.
True,
The
because I did
the
that
true
too.
intent of how it's written, and that's the thing. Legally, they've written it in certain ways that you can't fire somebody at all.
But then there's
Even if the person's in the wrong.
but I will.
You have this due process that needs to happen.
But then
They
the
can
fighting.
belligerently
Yeah.
do wrong.
But the fighting, but this is where it happens here, and so because and you could ask Amber, it's like how I've always lived my life is I would be the equivalent of a union buster when it comes to because like okay we can't fire you, we're gonna reduce your hours down here and we're gonna hire an agency, so we're hiring the agency at almost twice your pay to go work over here just so we can starve you out. So there's always this constant like
What
fight.
movie was that? The Replacements with the football
Yeah,
team?
with the yeah.
Right.
And
So-
that's
But
exactly,
also,
that's exactly what
depending
happened
on how
in
the
union.
charter of the union is written, you can't do that.
No,
Yeah,
no,
some
but-
places you
Depending
can't do
on-
that.
No,
yeah.
no. But listen, these people they're nice with it. They know how the paperwork goes.
Yeah.
So what they'll do is like, I'll make a nursing pool inside of here, which is a whole separate entity
Yes.
to go and do. Because like I said, this is how I used to work.
Yeah.
And so you'll make a nursing pool inside of here, which is still technically employees of the company.
Yeah.
Bring in other workers to go and do that. So that's why I think going back to what you're saying is like it makes sense for the unions to like help us to collaborate. So like I said, the safety's provided.
Yep.
We get reasonable wages because what happens is I know people that I was like, you're making this was like years ago because Amber can tell you I used to go out of town. I would work 70, 80 hours a week, make a bunch of money, and I wouldn't work for another 2 months. And that's how I would do it. And the people who were working there were only making like 16, 17 bucks an hour. And it's like, I'm making $10 more an hour than you. And I'm getting as much overtime as I want to because you guys couldn't just come together and say, hey, let's get them about $3 more an hour, make
Yep.
sure that they're cool.
Yep.
And you do this. Both people were losing. When I'm coming in there, of course, I'm eating, I'm enjoying myself. But
Right.
at the same time, it could have been, hey, they could have been making 20 bucks an hour. Their bills are paid. They were treated better. But it's just weird that we always, when you fight, there's nothing that really comes of it. So no, I agree with you with the union stuff. It's a
right.
little sweet.
But I do
Yeah.
believe that people, and this is not always true, but usually when unions do get involved, wages go up.
No, it's not. I was part of a union at one point. So yeah,
Well, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. It's not always true, but more times than not,
Yeah.
Right.
a lot the wages
even
go
if you
up.
ain't part of the union,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
negotiate for you.
You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
so and job security becomes almost indefinite. So when these people,
Yeah, you gotta do some
when,
bad
when
stuff.
when these guys usually go on
And even
strike,
then, they don't give a.
when these guys usually go on strike to be able to open the door for that,
Yeah.
it's usually strategic and it's
Yeah,
planned
it's
and it's
100%,
not
yeah.
it's not necessarily something that's going to hurt them.
And
They're
so
pretty
usually
much
falls in their
telling
best-
they're pretty much telling the company it'll hurt you before it hurt us.
Yeah,
And
on
that's
some
why
gangster
they-
stuff.
and
Yeah,
that-
100%.
and that's why they really do it. Which is why I just think that I think that when unions are implemented, there should just be a better strategy when they're implemented.
Yes.
Because they do come in with the safety aspect and the workers' rights aspect, but then the employees' point of view of our perspective of unions is that's job security and
Give all against good.
and there's
Yeah.
and now I don't have to do as much work to
'Cause
to
Lord
secure
knows.
a job.
Yo.
And so
Yo.
when we look at most of these companies that unionize and the quality of the product nosedives,
100%.
and that becomes a problem is that it's harder to maintain the quality of the product when union is implemented.
But also part of that isn't true. Like sometimes that is true. We've seen a lot of times where it is true, but also a lot of times when you have a union, you'll get workers who
Okay.
I got security. Now I can actually I'm not scared about my boss firing me over something that was that's not true,
Trivial, right.
or that's trivial, or the company making up some type of thing where, dang, I got let go because of this, that, and the third. I think sometimes the companies on their end, they make unions look really bad. Also, unions make unions look really
Yes,
bad.
I was just gonna say that.
But
because
some
of
unions don't even don't do what the employees are
And
paying
so that's
them
why I'll
to
agree
do.
with,
Exactly.
and that's why I agree with Marv and Giselle, is that because I'll give you an example. So ex-wife, she's working at her particular entity. It's a government entity. By the time she gets her check, medical, dental, all this other kind of stuff, I was like, yo, it'd have been better for you to work private. Because private, you could at least got that money in your pocket, and there were other options that you could have taken. But this union, because it was just so haphazardly thrown together, you have to throw them union dues, and literally you don't even make enough money to pay your bills. You got to go out and do Uber Eats. Like, it just doesn't even make sense. So that's why I said, like they were saying, is like union needs to be put together so it actually helps the worker. Because to me, I'm like, I would much rather do private, because I'm making an extra $1,000 a month, because when I came to the union, okay, I can't get fired, but I might make him no money.
Right.
And
But
they're
I,
only-
I
they're
think
only-
like any, I'm sorry, I
feel
think there's like a
protected.
good and a bad in all of it. Because I have a friend
Yeah.
who works with the union, and there's a young man there who really can't stand it. And he comes in late. He does all of this stuff. And I was like, well, why can't you guys write him up? He works with the union. Like, we can't. We all work with the union. Well, why can't you guys do that? Well, he works with the union. So every time
I
she
wish I
complains
worked
about
with
me,
the
I'm
union.
like, so every time she complains, I'm like, so what is your leadership doing?
Thank
Well,
you.
they're doing A, B, D, A, B, C, and D, but also because of the cap of the union, they're only able to move so much. And I'm like, well, that sucks. He's like, yes, because it's causing more work for the rest of us. Now, I don't think he's abusing the system on purpose. I think he's just lazy.
I
And
probably
think
would.
it's just
I
the way it
might.
happens. And it just
I'm
sucks
not
because-
even gonna lie.
But in that
But
thing,
maybe,
they
I
can
don't know.
still write him
But
up.
I think
You
but
need
I
a
think there's-
paper trail in order to be
But
Right.
still-
You know
But
what?
if it's
Hold
4
on.
years,
That goes
It-
back to the point that Mar was
it's-
making,
Yeah.
Right.
because
'Cause it can
he
be
said
good or
the
bad.
quality of the work is gonna go down,
Yep.
and which
Can.
is true,
Yeah, that's
because
true.
once people know, hey, you can't
Fire me.
you can't do nothing to me, man.
Right.
So leave me the hell
or you
alone.
can
or
try.
what you can do,
Nah.
you gotta build. You gotta
Right.
build. You
Yeah,
gotta build a
yeah,
paper.
you gotta
Johnny Cochran. You gotta be Johnny Cochran with the
No,
paper.
for real, no.
Did you say a paper factory?
Firing somebody that is unionized is like going to court.
Yep.
Yes.
And you have to, and
Yeah.
the union reps are great defense
But-
lawyers.
yeah.
And so that's what happens is
gotta
that
plant
even
drugs
though
on
their
you, I gotta do all the
theology,
things.
even though their theology may not line up with why you're being terminated for,
Right.
their job is to defend you. So I've watched my sister for hours look up loopholes and
Yeah.
all different type of stuff so that a company cannot fire somebody even though she
Really?
did not agree with
Yep.
it, because that's her job.
Yep.
And so
Okay.
I mean,
It's to defend.
Yeah.
If we look at it, police unions, police unions,
how-
police
I was
unions.
about to
they
talk
get
about
they
that.
shoot people and get away with it.
They strap
All
on
day.
police unions
Keep
strap
the
on
money.
a bomb. They strap on a grenade and like, look, I'm gonna blow this place up if you don't let this person go. They'll use any tactic,
Yes.
including anything sleazy.
Yes.
They're lawyers. They are lawyers and prosecutors
Yep.
combined in the fact that they know both sides, and they know one side can't do one without the other, and so they're like, well,
Is there a job for helping to like fight against that? Because I would love to do that job. I'd be
Fight
like,
One is-
It probably you're gonna have to get into it, be part of
But
the
we're talking about
We're
one of the the most integral. That's supposed to be one of the most integral entities in that exists.
Union?
The police
No,
union?
the police.
Right.
And the police union. And what they'll do is
It's the most corrupt.
they run smear campaigns.
Yep.
Yep.
Instead of
I would love to
becoming-
do the opposite. Like you need somebody to make them look kind of bad. Holler at Cameron.
but at the same time,
Union Busters
but
Incorporated.
at the same
There you
time,
go.
You gotta start funding your own commercials.
but at the same
I approve
time,
this message.
they do smear campaigns. They can do stuff. They'll do stuff, little stuff. Because the police union, how they get around
They're
it is
very
that
powerful.
they're very powerful. They can influence legislation.
Yeah, 501c4s. Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
They
And
move
here's the
different. They move
Every
different.
union is a gang, a notorious gang.
Come on.
You know
The
what I'm
team-
saying?
you remember
On
when
real.
they used to have the
Because here's the
conversation?
thing: any member of that union, You know what I mean? No matter what they do, the gang got they back.
Yep.
And it's
No matter,
cold.
hey,
yo,
no matter what,
yo,
hey, you
the
could be as
Teamsters
wrong as
they
two
used to
left
be
shoes.
fire. They were filthy.
Yeah.
Your gang got your back,
Yeah.
and they step up like I don't care what he did.
Yeah.
nigga.
Right.
And
You know what I'm saying?
if you mess up too much, they'll just send you somewhere
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
They send-
That's it. You
Yeah,
know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Put
No,
him
but
in
wait, there's
Little Rock.
always
Put him
the
in Little Rock,
opposite,
Arkansas.
Because I've had people who
With all the
gone to
Colts.
their union
Yeah,
with
put 'em on the
issues, and the union did not help them
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, that's why this could
With
be a
what?
good or
They took.
Now
they
that's-
took.
It just
That's a bad
depends.
situation because
They-
let's not
they
forget you
take-
paying dues.
They're taking
Right.
your
You are
money.
paying, yeah.
They're taking your money, and when you complain, I have a friend, a mutual friend, who had an issue about her hair, and some people saying that how her hair smells nasty.
Her gang was
The
weak.
supervisor said, you need to go home and scrub your hair.
Who's
'cause
our
it
who's our
smells."
union rep? Dr. Umar.
I can't.
She can't tell you.
I can't say that publicly.
Right.
Okay.
It was him.
And I told her, I said, you
My
need to
bad.
go. Wait, I told her
bad.
you need to go to HR
Yeah.
and file a complaint because one, that's racist. You're the only black woman in that group, and two, that's called bullying in the workplace. You need to go and talk to HR and then go see your union person.
So question for you
But
because
wait,
you're in corporate.
yeah,
Because I was going to ask you in
yeah.
corporate because like I kind of operate outside of that.
Yeah.
So when that happens, let's say there was only 6 people paying their union dues, even though there's 20 people. Are they like, sorry, we can't afford to help you?
That's
Is it like that?
hilarious.
No, they
It
start
shouldn't be like that
docking you
because guess
going
what?
behind your back to go and pay your or get it from your checks.
Right.
Oh, they start
You-
just like
Oh,
sucking
it
from your
comes
check?
out of your
Oh,
check.
your dues come out of
Yeah.
your check. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
your
you don't
dues
get
come
to
out of your-
choose.
They
No,
come
there's
out of
no
my
way
check.
around that?
No,
No.
your dues come out.
Yeah.
Okay?
You
But-
think we
There's
finna
no
see
way
that
around
before
that?
we see it?
Yeah.
Nah, buddy.
But the thing about it
We
is,
getting that
she never gets a call
ASAP.
from her union rep. As much times as she calls and she left a
Dang.
message, she never goes. So my thing is, certain cases they work, but in some cases like that supervisor should have been written up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he should have got Chris rocked for what he said.
I mean, hey, I'm just gonna say, hey,
We're creating jobs.
some
jobs
some priests listen to your sins and give you a Hail Mary, and then some, open up the curtains and do what they gonna do. So I mean, it is what it is. you know?
We created like 3 or 4
I have
jobs
a
this
bit,
episode.
like
I
I
just
said,
want you
it's
guys
a
to know. Yeah, we
bittersweet
did
thing
that.
with
Right.
the union thing.
Right.
Like I know Amazon warehouse workers needed it because there's a lot of stuff that was going down that
Yeah.
shouldn't have happened.
Pause.
Yeah.
Also, I was at Amazon, at least in my branch.
Yeah.
Some of us are in there lazy.
No, but
What did you say? Some in there are
think
what?
Lazy.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
two
Oh,
things.
Depends
okay.
on the warehouse
Yeah,
and the people.
depends
I
on the
was just
warehouse.
cracking
Well,
it
Yeah,
up.
here's
some
the
of them was
thing.
light skin.
No, some of us was in there lazy.
Oh,
Hey, look, I feel like
I thought
No, I heard you.
but check it. I feel like
Did he
every
just say were they
like,
light skinned?
I didn't know. I thought that's what
big
she said.
major company
Oh,
needs
instead
a
of
union.
lazy.
Yeah.
No,
Every
major-
big major company needs a union.
Yeah.
Because that big company, you are so disposable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they'll get somebody else that quick. You know what I mean? They don't care about you. They don't care about your family or what you need.
you're
or
a
none of that.
10-year, nothing.
Yeah. So they will fire you. They'll treat you
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
You need some protection.
You want to
But
know
how-
something
but how
funky
much-
about
How
unions?
much does a union
Admin
care?
people do not have a union.
Yeah,
but,
they care.
but how much
Yeah.
does a
Yeah.
union care? if-
Admin,
Admin.
like
No.
admin, any administrative
It's only
staff,
labor workers.
Any,
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Oh.
So all them, yeah.
Management.
Me and
I
didn't know.
management don't have, they
None
don't
of that.
have,
None of
Oh, I
they
didn't know.
don't have a union. That's the thing. But admin staff gets treated terribly.
Yeah,
Yes,
most
they do.
most
admin get
Most admin get treated terribly,
Yeah.
but we can't have a union.
yeah, most sales reps don't
You
have.
can't have
there-
admin
There's
unions?
there's no
There's
sales
none.
reps that have unions either.
Yeah.
That's
Really?
Unions are made for people who doing like the most like physical unionized stuff. So
Labor-
the
Oh,
I get what
nurses
you're
have-
saying in terms of,
doctors don't
what-
have
yeah.
a union.
Yeah.
My thing
Nurses
is-
do.
My thing
Really?
is
Yes.
until
The more hands-on you are,
Yeah.
typically.
Yeah.
I feel like
Doctors are
unless
just the
you can
faces, nurses do all the
actually
hard stuff.
unless you can actually
But they get
create
the more money.
a union that is efficient and effective, then it's unnecessary because you're still doing a disservice. Because if the quality of the product goes down, then you're not helping the company.
True.
The product the point of the union is to make employees not so expendable so that they can be happy working, so you create a better product. But if you're creating something to where they feel so protected that the quality of the work goes down, then the company
Right.
downgrades and it's not helping.
So from the corporate workers, not to interrupt you. So what's the difference between an association and a union, does the association even have any power, or do they just send like? Because I've heard about people like, oh, this is an association of a particular type of worker. I know it's not a union because a union is for a
right.
specific.
They don't have any. They don't
No,
have
they
any
don't
power
have much
within
power,
within
no.
the.
But-
You could go to them for help.
Yeah.
But you can't. They can't make your employer do anything.
Okay, so
But-
they're
That's
just
just
consultants.
like going into court with an advocate and not
Yeah.
a lawyer.
But
Oh,
the
okay, okay.
association,
They're like the library of rules.
yeah,
Oh, okay, I got
but
you.
yeah, because the association, like you have association of like electrical workers,
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
they can
So I give you some pamphlets, but
they,
that's
they,
about
can
it.
and they can
Okay.
I can give you
and they
some
can
training.
and they can talk bad about somebody like, hey, they
Right.
didn't use our an electrician from us,
Right.
But the union's actually like, yo, Kendra, we about to go in here. We gonna talk bad about this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the.
Because I always wondered, they have a bunch of associations, but
Oh,
I'm
they
like,
have
what do they
tons
actually
of
do?
associ-
Like,
and you
what
see,
is-
associations,
Yeah,
you
union
can choose.
is like
You
you
can
come
choose
in
whether
there
you
crying.
pay your
Yeah.
association dues or not.
yeah,
With
yeah.
the
No, they're like,
union,
nah.
you
got
don't
you.
got
Your
no
kids need
choice.
food?
Nah.
Yeah,
Because
okay,
a lot of
okay.
companies,
John-
you
They don't be
can't
offering you no
choose
food
not
or nothing like
to be
that,
part
but
of
they-
the union. When you
Well,
get hired,
unless your state is
unless your
right
state-
to work,
right?
right to work.
But there's some companies
Or
you
at
can't.
will.
You
Yeah,
can't
At will.
choose.
Washington State's at will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
you
so
can't choose whether or not you be in a union or not. You have to be in a union.
okay, so then real
Well-
quick, the last piece of education, if you guys can just give that to me, like literally 1 minute, because you guys have been in the workplace. So you're saying an at-will state, like we're at an at-will
Yes.
state.
Yes.
So
we are.
if you're
They don't
not
have
a
to give
at,
a reason to terminate you.
No.
okay, they don't have to give a
They
reason.
don't have to
Nope.
give a
Okay,
reason.
so which I figured I understood
and
that.
no
But
backup
if you,
paperwork.
if
But
you
if they
don't,
do, so that's where the at will for. If they do give you a reason,
yeah.
then it has to be a valid reason.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so then
That's
now
right.
let's say if we're in a state that's not at will employment, what happens in that state with the union? If you get
the
fired?
union either way, the union usurps that that at will. They can't just fire you,
Right.
even if you're in, like I'm in a union now
Okay.
with where I work. They at will doesn't mean they can just let me go for anything because the union is going to step in and say, "Hey,
Exactly.
hold up."
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I've been in a union once, but I didn't understand what happens when you're not at, because I've always lived in Washington.
At will is for the ununionized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
'cause
gotcha.
even in a state where it's not right to work,
Yeah.
you can't when you walk in a shop. You can choose. Like some states, you can't. When you walk in the shop, you have to go with the union.
Yes.
Some states, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what right to work
No,
is.
you can still
Okay.
choose
You
even
can still-
within a
Yeah.
company not to.
Yeah, you can,
You
but
can
some,
work at a
but in
grocery store
some,
and not
but
be a
in
part of
some,
the union,
But
they
there's
do have-
only a
but there- but
percentage.
There's a part of the grocery store that is
Right. There has
Yeah.
to be a percentage in
Okay,
which
so
the
then
union
now
will.
let's take away the union because it seems like the union's kind of like I'm big bro, I'm gonna make
Yeah.
you protected
Right.
regardless. So then if it's not a not right to work, if it's not an at will employment state, I walk into the slaughterhouse. Let's say we out here chopping meat up or something like that. What does that mean where it's not at will? Can they tell me like, nah, you gonna come into work tomorrow? Like, I like how does that work? Like, what is the
if
what's
you
the
don't want to
difference?
go into work,
So what happens? Okay, so
I think it has to fall.
At will is I can go to work tomorrow and they can tell me I'm terminated,
Yeah.
and I could be
Okay.
like, what do you mean I'm terminated? Why?
At
And
will
they could
of-
be
at
like,
will
and
of
they
the
could be
company.
because I want to do.
They-
no, no,
that's just-
at will of the
It's at will of
company.
the-
Yeah,
At will the
like,
company. Okay,
yeah.
so then if I'm not an at will of the company thing and I come into work and I'm like, they can't just fire me. They have to say you didn't clean the troughs.
Well, no, it's a process.
No.
Then it's a process.
Process.
It's
Yeah.
like you have to be written up so many
Right,
times
exactly,
and all
exactly.
this.
That's kind of
and
low key
all
fire.
that.
Why don't we have that?
Well, no.
but
Well,
actually, and
Oh,
in
okay.
some
Yeah.
unions too, because there's a lot in Washington, they can just call your union rep and have them sitting there waiting for you to be called in the office.
That's
and
true. And
Boom.
yeah.
You and it.
Oh, okay, so it's a
Some
different
unions,
way.
depending on how much power they have, you don't have to have all that paperwork because we are an at will state.
Right.
But
Okay.
if they're a good union,
They're not.
they're gonna
there's
make
not
sure
gonna happen.
that verbal warning, that written
Yep.
warning, that
That's
all
all
of
there.
it.
They're
They're
There's
gonna make
four.
sure you have every single thing checked off before
And-
you
and-
try.
And if they can't, they
to-
got the backup job ready for you.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
know what you're doing.
But even and then let's be honest,
Out here. Let's go right down the street over here.
that too.
Yeah.
They do that too. But then they will also make sure that if they don't comply, the company doesn't comply.
Yeah.
They're given some, under the table type stuff like, okay, well, if this is going to happen with this employee, like unions will make companies go through hell.
yeah. Well, also
They'll
they
make
can
them
also
spend
make some of that
money.
stuff disappear
That's why
too.
companies
Yeah,
don't-
that
that's why
too.
companies don't like unions.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they well,
I
but-
went
But
through
they
a
cost
whole.
Them, they cost
Cost
them
them
more
some money,
in pay.
Yes.
Obviously.
I went through
More in pay
when I
and
was
headaches.
working at the university, Seattle University. They were becoming unionized. I was in between. I was management, so I managed the employees,
Yeah.
but I wasn't going to be in the union.
Yeah.
but all of these things that had to be set in place. But it was a good thing because you're fighting for paid policies, your vacations, health care, and all of those. That's the good part. But it leaves the company strapped financially,
and in a unionized place is like being a step parent. Like they're not finna listen to shit.
I want to stop for a second, and can we appreciate that? Because that metaphor was kind of fire. I like that. I felt that in my soul.
Well, he always has these metaphors.
I kind of that one in particular. That one kind of helps.
Unions are in existence because HR is not about the employee.
Yeah.
HR is there to make sure that the company does not get fired or does not get sued. Okay? So when I got into HR, I was like, all about helping the employees, developing employees. HR got a whole degree.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it made me think about The Incredibles. Remember in the first Incredibles? Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Remember in the first Incredibles when he was trying to save the guy and the
Don't
movie?
watch cartoons like that, but it's
Man,
cool.
I had a kid. Well, no,
I do too, but I don't watch cartoons
but
like
I think
that.
but I think your son is a little older. Either way,
He is.
so in the beginning of the movie, he wanted to go save the person, and then the boss was like, "Nah, your job isn't to help. We're an insurance company. Your job is to keep our clients happy, not to help the little guy." He was like, "But I just wanted to help because technically they pay us." And then the boss was like, "But no, though," and fired him because you're costing the company money.
Right. No.
And so HR is there to stop you from
there
costing the company money.
I just experienced the HR thing, so I understand.
Shoot, I wasn't even HR.
So if you was a
They was like,
manager,
wait.
I want to fire this guy, can I? Yeah, you can fire him.
Yes, you can fire him.
That's what HR is.
But
That's
But you don't
what
even have
HR
to be
is.
in HR trying to fight for one or the other, but being just in management and you're actually trying to speak up for the underdog, you can go too. This is
exactly.
Just like a step parent. Just like a step parent.
I thought this was our child.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
Nah, it's my child. Matter of fact,
But I thought we were a family. I thought we were a family.
well, part of also why companies don't like unions is because they have to open up their books.
Yes.
You've got to open up your books because you have to. We have to negotiate in in fairness. So I've got to see what
you bring in.
What you bring in. If you're saying, hey,
totality.
I can only afford $1.50 extra raise for these people, and you made
$10 billion.
you made
That's
a bunch
a
of.
lie.
That's why Amazon. Part of why
Exactly.
Amazon was like, we're gonna stop.
That's why they
this.
try to contract out as much as they
Amazon
can.
makes
because
billions a quarter.
Because
Yeah.
well,
That's why
also
that's why Microsoft contracts out
crazy.
Everything
With a
is for that reason. Yeah.
I got
everything.
stuff on the way to the house.
Now they don't have to worry about unionizing anything.
Yeah, that's why I was just thinking. I was like I would almost contract if I was a company and you guys are talking about all this kind of stuff. So you're bringing in CPS to watch out my parenting style. That's essentially what you're doing. So it's like I'm gonna contract out everything. No, my children they're at daycare, then they go to school, and then they have a nanny to go to sleep. That's what's happening. Yeah.
No, but the thing about it is, that's the thing. HR was, people think HR is for the employees. It's not.
It's not.
It's human. It's a way to manage the resource that is human.
We got ongoing.
That's
joke at
what
my
it is.
job. Every time something wrong happens that is a fireable offense to somebody, we always say HR. We don't say HR protecting somebody, or if you don't get a promotion, nobody's saying HR. And when it's somebody sexual harassment or something, HR, you feel me? We always say somebody that, 'cause that's the only reason they're there for.
Yeah.
Is for that, you know.
The good thing about the union,
crazy.
though, like you said, they have to open their books. The good thing about the union is that if all of us here are doing the same job, make sure all of us getting the same pay for that job. Because there's a lot of companies.
That's the only thing I don't like about
where there's a lot of companies
I don't like that.
A lot of people
because
don't get you can because
not all of them started that job at the same day.
The quality of somebody's work can go down, and now we still get to pay the same thing.
And they didn't start the job the same day.
No, but that's different. That's different.
No,
That's different.
But some of them depends on how many.
they have a starting rate.
But what I'm saying is, with a lot of companies that have a union, especially with admin, if I have a job and I say, okay, I'm going to accept this position and I'm going to pay you $30 an hour, right? Somebody else starts after me and they say, oh, the pay is $30 an hour, and they come back and say, nah, bro, I want 35. And depending on the situation, how badly you need them, they're going to agree to give that person $35 an hour.
So the union will stop that?
Yes. They will.
They will stop
They will
that, but
stop
I'm gonna
that.
be honest though. If you have some dope negotiation skills, you're gonna win.
You're
Because
Yeah, but
let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Not all
No,
about
let
negotiation. It depends
Cameron
on what-
so that you know
it
the union
depends-
works for you.
Right, but it
you can
depends on
fire
what
the
the
union.
company needs. Because if I need to fill that position,
Yeah.
and I want you, and I know other people around want you, I will give you $35 an hour, knowing that that's way too much. But I need a body.
So
But
now,
that's
the
all
now,
good.
the last question, because I'm like I said, I operate like this. So I get $35 an hour. Kendra, she's doing the same job as me. She's making 30. She's killing it.
Yep.
I'm out here like
Doing the
I'm
least.
chilling.
No, exactly. That's the problem with unions.
No. Let me ask.
No,
So okay,
this is
so
without the union.
no.
This is
I'm
without
asking
the
with the
union.
union. So
Yeah.
let's say that's the
with the
problem.
union?
Let's say
Yeah.
that's the problem. Okay, $35 an hour. She's making 30. She's killing it. She's telling me, yo, Cam, this Excel spreadsheet ain't popping. Whatever, all that kind of stuff. So then I'm like chilling because I know I got the union on my side. Are they gonna defend me like they gonna defend her?
They
They'll
might.
defend you the same.
You can file a grievance, which then they will go into like they're going to like almost like an arbitration
Yep.
with you.
Amber's treating me bad.
But-
Amber's treating me bad.
but-
It's $35.
but
an
they'll
hour.
go,
And I'm like, Amber's treating me bad. Union.
They might go in,
Yeah.
but they might go in. Yeah,
Anytime.
anytime.
Anytime
yeah.
that an employee wants to file a grievance,
yeah.
it actually looks poorly on the company.
I can for me
You're getting fired, Amber. You're in management.
for me
Yeah.
for what I
Yeah.
do. I can file a grievance if I see a sales rep who are not union.
Yeah.
If I see them touch
Yep.
product
Yep.
that I can work.
Yep.
I can literally be like, they took work from me. Because the thing
But we
is,
know Trey ain't gonna
No,
do that though,
but-
because
But what
he don't
about- But
read.
what about this? What about two people both in the union, right? And one person killing it, the other person not,
Right.
but the pay scale is going to pay them the same exact thing.
Yes.
That's the problem with
Especially
the
Yeah.
if they have the
And that's
same
a fair
amount of years
point.
experience.
Because
That's
they
the
have
problem.
they have
That's the
different
problem with the union.
education
Because
backgrounds,
Now
experience.
I'm out here busting my ass.
Yeah.
And because you're protected, you basically got tenure.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
feel like you don't have to.
Yeah.
That's
we go home with the same amount.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
That's a fair.
But it's not okay. But on the flip side, where you don't have a union, it kind of makes up for it with a
Nuh-uh.
union. No.
No, but you can-
No. What I'm saying is this: when you don't have a union, and they because in the union they take years experience, they have a list as to how you're gonna get paid. So
I was
if
just
you
gonna
have
say
more
that, yeah.
experience, you have more college and whatever. Sorry, college or whatever, you get more money, right? But in a
Still
place
not
that's
performance-based, though.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
but
still not performance-based.
understandable.
No,
but what I'm saying is, if with places without a union, they can decide to pay someone with less experience, less education, more money.
Yeah,
than
the
you.
company can.
But
And that person,
but
it's
performance
not-
based too.
whoa. But
And
no.
yes, that too with
It's-
companies.
yes,
But if you're
but
union,
it doesn't always be performance based. What I'm saying is,
Y'all are lucky I don't have a union because I'd be out here milking.
what I'm saying is, if I
It'd be
make $30 an hour and they need to hire a second person, they
Right.
could hire that second person who has less experience than me, less education than me, for $35 an hour.
yeah,
So I
and
can
the
keep on
cost,
going to school.
and
because the
they're
cost
not-
of living increased, so
but not only
they
that,
get that.
but not only that, but because they really need someone in that
Right,
seat.
right.
So you're saying I can go get a master's degree, be a crappy worker.
Yes.
Learn a little Excel, get a couple certifications, and I could be out here like banging on her,
You could
even though she's working more
You
than me.
could also
Yeah.
get a master's degree,
Yeah.
and still make less than her without a degree.
But that's not
because
with the union.
That's
though.
exactly.
Oh, that's
this
not
is
with
what
the union.
this
That's
is
not with the
without-
union.
I'm talking
Because
about
with
this
the
is-
union-
you would get your money.
Yeah,
No,
but
no.
degree-
Some of them
With
would
that
get money.
degree does not necessarily mean that you have more field experience than that person
Right.
already working there.
Right,
No,
that's
I-
just
I
So,
got
on
it.
paper.
I don't care how long you
But
went
money-wise,
to school.
I'm asking money-wise.
No, I don't care how much.
Right.
I don't care.
Well, no,
Because I don't care how
Who gets
much.
more money? I don't know unions. So who gets more
yeah.
money? If I'm in a union, given what you just said,
What she's saying is the person with the less experience.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but
No,
this
what
was
she's saying
with
is the
no
person with
union,
the,
though.
The
That's
person
no
with the
union.
less schooling.
yes, but I said with the union. Go
Yes.
answer that question
With
because I don't
the-
know.
So this is
if
without a
okay,
union.
So
It's
with
without.
the union, they
I
take
decide to
into
go to school.
account-
You and I are working
Yeah.
at the same time. Let me
But
give you the
that-
scenario.
yeah.
Okay, you and I, we both same job, whatever like that. Let's say you've been there 2 years longer than I. I'm like, yo, what's his name is paying a little bit more, so I'm gonna go to school online. I get my master's degree. I get like some office certs, and I get some
Yeah.
other
You'll
stuff
get a
like
pay
that.
bump.
Let me go back
Would
a
I
little
make
bit,
more money than
Cameron.
you, even though you worked there 2 years longer.
Not
Cameron,
necessarily.
no.
necessarily.
Let me-
Not
It depends on the
necessarily.
job.
Hold on a
It depends
second.
the
So
job.
when
But
a
the
union
education
is
can
signed
get
on,
you get you a pay bump,
Okay.
and that can potentially get you to make more than me if I don't have those qualifications.
But there's a thing when a company or a union is signed on to a company, a certain company, whatever, say it's signed on to the studio or whatever, right? There's actually policies they put in place that say no one employee can have this, whatever. If this person has started out is here for 2 years, they can't go more than this amount. This person can't go but everybody gets the equal medical and everything. But if you've been here longer than 5 years, you get this vacation. You've been here longer than 10 years, you get this vacation, and that's different. So it is based off of your experience on that job, not your experience before the job or your education. When you're a union, it has nothing to do with that. It's simply how long you've been with that company.
But they do have a starting pay scale.
No, they do have.
Right.
No, that's what he's saying. They
Yeah.
do have a starting pay scales based on qualifications that you meet coming in.
Right.
So that's what that's.
But that's what's set already for the
time out.
union.
No, go back, because what that can say is that I can come in, I can make certain checkpoints that can potentially make
Help
me
you.
a higher earner than you who've been working here longer.
So the last question would be is that thank you for the education on the union. I appreciate it. But as far as the last point would be if I come in and I'm trying to hack a union because I'm so used to just doing my own thing. So if I'm trying to I'm trying to get the most bread out this piece, what would be on average, because I know there's different unions, what would be on average the best way of I'm trying to come in here and make the maximum amount of money possible compared to my constituents.
Don't go with a union.
Right.
Because you don't. You not only
there's a scale. There's
You
a
can
scale.
negotiate.
Right.
More. Okay,
You have more room.
Not
to,
only do you have a decrease, but you have an increase. You can't go higher
you have
than
more
a
room.
certain
To,
amount.
you have more room
Okay,
to
okay,
negotiate
okay.
without a union.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
like for me in my job, when
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't understand this. They just look and see what a job offers and then say,
Well, that's
this
why
is
I was
what-
trying to get that.
This is
Yeah.
what
Right.
this is what
No.
the job's
Negotiate.
for.
You can
Whatever.
negotiate.
No,
And you can
you're
negotiate.
supposed to
You're supposed to
negotiate.
negotiate. And so most people don't go into job interviews negotiating their price for what they want to be paid
Right.
for because they're scared to be denied the
Yeah.
job based on
Yeah.
negotiation.
Yep.
But what necessarily happens in the
Thanks for the
negotiation is
input,
they don't
Will.
deny you the job. They just tell you, I can't pay you that. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I can't afford that. So if you want this job, you will have to accept this. You feel me? So that's usually what happens in the negotiation. With the union, it's capped.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it's like, this is the highest you can get coming in here.
Yep.
And then this is your
So
potential earning.
we're sorry to shit on your dreams of trying to get that max money,
I'll
but
tell
that
you-
ain't
look,
happening
look,
with the
no,
union.
no, this way.
because and that's the good thing. That's a good and the bad thing. Because I
That's
just had
why
a friend. They moved to California to get a management position.
Yeah.
And they were gonna offer him X amount.
Yeah.
And he was like, "If you could add 20 more to that, I'll say yes." Well, I'm gonna have to go back and talk to them, bro. The thing. And he was like, "Okay, talk to them and see what happened, and come
and
back
then
to
also
me.
show him these paperwork.
Right.
This is
and see what
back
happens.
in.
So, and you know what? They gave him that 20 more because he asked for it. It isn't gonna hurt. Either they
To
say
ask,
yes
right.
or they're gonna say no.
Yeah.
And they tacked on a move-in stipend onto
Yeah.
that.
And then,
But let's be honest, entrepreneurship is the best way to go. So
This is the
Oh, no,
last.
that's
That's the
why I
last.
usually- that's why I usually
Let's
stay in
just
that
say
lane.
that.
I
That's
But
a-
not everyone is
I mean,
cut
it's-
out
it's
to be
apples
one.
oranges. It's like
I'm
owning
just
a house
saying.
and having an
There you
apartment.
go.
Some people don't want to do the maintenance.
Yeah,
You feel
exactly.
me?
No, and I get, but that's why I've always stayed there. Because the only reason I ever thought about union, I'll just say this part, was that I saw my ex-wife being in a union, and I was like, I don't have to try to make that much money, and you've been there for 9 years,
Right.
And so for me, I was like, it never made sense the
Right.
union unless you were just. I'm trying to not get fired. I can't get fired here. I'm chilling. You know?
Yeah,
Work every day.
Yeah, I'm just chilling.
The
I
union,
smoke cigarettes on the job.
the union basically was
Blunts.
like what I hear. The union was the catalyst, one of the catalysts for the middle class.
Yes.
Yes.
All of the things
That
that
is true.
all of the things that unions were getting was the catalyst for the middle class.
Yeah, it was job safety.
the job safety, the vacations, the not being
You can
fired,
have the house with picket fence and the family.
and all that stuff, and all. So so they
It's
do
all
it.
true. Nobody can have a house with a picket fence.
Nowadays,
No.
so yeah,
You
we're
can
just
barely
keep
have
it.
a
Unless you
picket.
make Will and Jada money, you feel me? You gotta make Will and Jada money.
Or Chris.
Yeah.
You literally have to get slapped 40 times in order to afford a house out here, $10,000 a piece. That's what you would have to get. But
You
you
would have to
that
get
money
slapped.
don't go to you.
Oh,
that
no.
money
Oh, yeah,
don't
that's
go.
not
Yeah,
going
that
to-
go to
you
the
would have to
county.
get slapped by
That go to
Will
the
Smith
city.
press charges, sue him
right.
to be able to buy a house out here.
Out here,
Yep.
it's ridiculous.
Well, we about to get out of here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to Black Pew Podcast.
All right, enjoy.
Peace.
Like, share, subscribe on the channel. Help us get our
Thank you
numbers
for the
up.
union
We
education. That was a lot.
appreciate
I love it.
every one of y'all.
Please
We'll
don't
see y'all
get
next
slapped
week.
in between now and then.
Don't get Chris Rock out
Get
there.
Chris Rock.
All right.
Peace.
Chris Rock.
If you get slapped, be part of the union.
No, I think you
All right, that's cool.
or just call it you got willed.
No, if you gonna slap somebody, be part
Be
of
part
the
of the union.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, I got
if
it.
you gonna slap somebody, be part of the union.